Here's what this button
we are
does.
live.
But Anubis, you might have seen on my timeline,
Is
Figma. Since we're talking about spaceship shooters, Figma, the two ships, one from Thunder Force 3 and one from Thunder Force 4 as a 2-pack.
I think I might have caught sight of that like not too long ago.
Yeah, they're very expensive, so I'm gonna have to let those. At least
Well, I know a while ago they came out with the Figma of
the
I
fish.
guess, yeah, one of the I guess is one of the bosses from
yes.
Okay, okay. We gotta kind of get ready here.
Oh yeah, let me go to.
No, we're getting ready. I am fishing out a
link
image and link as we speak.
Oh, by the way,
actually, I do need to.
But last Wonderfest.
One of these options here.
Last Wonderfest, they showed off a Figma, the first boss, which is kind of like the most famous of R-Type.
Ah.
You know the thing that looks like the xenomorph alien, but without
no, I don't know that thing. I never made it that far, VZ.
But have you ever seen it?
No, he's trying to tell you no.
No.
Yeah,
listen.
But you might have at least seen the image. It's like on the box cover.
I might have. I don't know if I've ever even seen the box cover of R-Type.
All right. Well,
and it's like I'm not gonna watch a video on YouTube because that's
just
like
to see
to me.
I can get through at least the first level fine.
But isn't it? But
listen, BZ, you underestimate how terrible I am at shmup games. Except for Galaga.
Here it is.
I am decent at Galaga.
I didn't even type in the boss. I just typed in into Google R-Type, and there it is. It's the fucking alien. It's the first level boss. It's the thing that the guy that made that, you know the Star Wars animation thing.
Yeah. No, I know what you're talking about.
Okay.
But like if you just mentioning it, I don't have any context for it because I've never gotten that far in the video game.
Oh, all right.
No, but watching people play shmups is almost like watching people play a Madden, LP or something.
Well, here's the problem, and I've noticed this, and you guys probably have the same problem. I'd bet. When I watch people play video games, they can
get angry because they're fucking up
because they make decisions I wouldn't make.
Yeah, and then you're just like, no, don't do that. That's a fucking dumb idea.
I was watching these playthroughs of like the Call of Duty Black Ops games, just to see the storyline and whatnot. And I'm going through and they're going through, and I notice I'll notice a dude out the left is like your left side.
Hey,
like it's the panda plane, and I'm talking to him but. Yeah, I get that mentality every time I watch someone play a video game that I know how to play.
Well, I will say one thing. Sometimes speed runs are useful for one thing, and that's easy ways around a tough part, like that you might not have actually thought of. Just because they're trying to get through as fast as possible, they come up with these sometimes really ridiculous, but they work ways of getting around something that otherwise
watching Sonic Adventure and Sonic Adventure 2 speedruns really helped me out.
I mean, it sounds goofy, but it actually does work. Like, there's a few. I remember watching original Ninja Gaiden ones, and some of them were kind of like, oh, okay, I never thought about doing it that way. I did it a hard way, It's just like, I mean, is there an easy way in that game? But I mean, you know what I mean?
Exactly.
By the way, great image for your NTR radio.
Yeah.
Hey.
I actually still need to finish that series.
Yes, you do. Especially, she's the best. She's my favorite character in it.
Oh, yeah, same here.
Yeah. Her voice actress is the one that died a few years ago.
Yep.
Okay. So, is everybody got their materials ready if they have any?
Good.
I got everything.
Good.
This is the pre-game part of the show. Where you have all the talking heads before the game starts, and you're forced to suffer through excruciatingly long
This
renditions of the Star Spangled Banner. No.
Yeah.
Bar that noise. If you're hearing some white noise, you'll have to blame VZ for that because he has a fan on that he's not going to turn off.
It's fucking hot. Let's be very real.
Deal.
All right. Look, it's a little further back. Sure.
Actually, that actually cuts down the noise entirely.
I have to have it on because it's like
Because we're approaching like equator levels of dying here.
What really happens is now they're trying to kill us by using heat. Except only you two apparently, because I'm here in a hoodie.
Well, here's the thing. Theoretically, the air should have come on before because my mom's cooking makes the kitchen absurdly hot.
Well, VZ, you know the story. Stay out of the kitchen.
Yeah.
Too many cooks in the kitchen, right?
Only maids should be in there.
Are you?
You didn't know. I have maids here. Yeah. I got my own maid hair.
Yes.
I want the people to think I have this.
No, but my question is: Are they there of their own free will?
I'll never tell.
I'm just going to ignore that.
No, what really happens is I subcontracted the task force MOE maid army out to VZ to help them out.
You ever? Anytime I think of a maid army, I think of that scene from Ica. Those like where they all come out in those fucking with those machine guns.
Yeah, that's exactly what.
They're like on that fucking like naval ship, and there's like fucking hundreds of them. Like, good times. And I love the fact that basically, I mean, not to go off topic too much, but the basic plot there is one guy is basically trying to repopulate the Earth. And so he's got like this army of maids. Not only that, but he's like this really effeminate dude. That's the best part about it. The dub did not help in that capacity.
I never seen Agent Ica, but I know enough of it. It is something I should check out someday. At least the original one.
Yeah. I've seen all of them. What can I say? I was intrigued. And by intrigued, I mean, I wonder how far they'll take this. Pretty far, by the way. To the point where I don't think any other title has went as far as they did in terms of that kind of thing. Anyway, we should probably get everything in its proper place here.
About to happen as soon as I.
So are you going to basically do the run out where you tell people to go into the thing and?
Yes, indeed.
Or are we doing that toward the end with the promo crap? Okay. That's up to you, man. You're the one who does the auctioneer voice here.
Good.
We got some NTR Radio.
Yeah. Like, can we hire that guy from Micro Machines? Like, nobody will even hear what he says except for the last part of it. They'll have to like put it in slow mo.
And so,
dude, you don't have to yell.
All right.
Okay.
I don't even have the notebook. I'll write it on the back of this.
He's got a notebook. And
aren't you gonna do a con story for the first part?
I got 2 con stories. Let's get started.
Actually, before we do, I got something that's not set up right yet, but I actually have a dry erase board now.
Hey, so do I. It's right there. Okay. We're going to hit that button. Write down the number.
What does that button do? No, seriously, what does that button do?
Pauses the podcast. Pauses the recording, at least.
Okay. Okay, so this first part's going to be short, sweet, and kind of...
No, it's not.
Oh, okay.
We got like 85,000 things and 2 cons. Let's hit it. In 3, 2, 1. Welcome to NTR Radio. I'm Tom Force Anubis.
I'm K-Gods.
And I'm VZ Mark II.
It's been a while.
It actually has, and it's my fault because last Sunday was my birthday, and
Hey,
I'm not going to talk about why I wasn't here.
no.
Because it's long involved and not particularly interesting for most of you out there in listener land. So I'll make note on that later when appropriate.
Yeah.
So let's all gather around the trash fire.
Gather around the garbage fire and listen to the tale of how you can get involved live with the podcast. So,
Smooth
what
save.
you do is you get yourself over to ntrradio.net, hit the chat link, give yourself a nickname, hit the start button, join us in the IRC channel. Alternatively, you can take your favorite IRC client, point it at irc.ryzen.net, and join us in the pound or hash SLC media channel. In addition, you can get at us on Twitter at TAnubis, at VZMK2, at immortal_KGods, at NTR Radio. And as always, the email box for the email address is ntrradio@gmail.com.
Our phone number is and you can call us collect now.
Yeah, no.
We wouldn't answer if you did that, by the way.
No, there's no one I want to talk to right now on the phone that doesn't know I'm recording a podcast.
Perhaps not.
Anyway,
Anyhow.
So I went to 2 conventions in the interim. First one was Retro World Expo, which is a retro gaming convention that happens in Hartford, Connecticut.
Hartford. Yeah.
Terrible city. Never go there. I'm actually serious. It's terrible. It's all, like the whole city shuts down at 5 p.m.
So, did they do this thing like in Europe where like basically everything basically is like everybody goes home off of work?
Pretty much.
Except
it's not like a cultural thing. It's
just like we're lazy and we're done.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like I really don't care if the Ferris wheel is still in mid. Up in the
terrible city. Like you can't go out to get something to eat after 5 p.m. It's
wow.
weird.
That in the US, that for our European listeners, all 2 of you, actually that's not true.
Oh yeah, no. Apparently we're big in Germany.
Yeah. Maybe that should be a t-shirt slogan.
Big in Germany.
Just like some really I'm not going there.
NTR Radio Deutschland edition.
Yeah. Yeah. And it just have like a bunch of stereotypical German things like Lederhosen and like Steins and just like basic
Erica Hartman.
Yeah, we are quickly approaching Oktoberfest.
Yeah. So get some hot dogs going on, some bratwurst, and okay. They're already stopping listening to the show. They're like, oh nope. No. And anyway, so yeah, go on.
So Hartford's bad. I went up there with the Geeky Panda. He was there promoting his YouTube channel, and I was here. I was there promoting his YouTube channel.
Okay.
So it was nice. It was my first time having a booth at the convention.
All right. Did was that something that you had been planning on doing, or did you get just kind of roped into it? I mean,
no, it's something the 2 of us were planning on doing together. That was like what we ended up doing was actually not our original plan. Because our original
plan. Does that ever happen that way when you go to a con ever?
Yeah,
like, does it ever go exactly how you have? Like, if you write it down and have it like on a little tablet or notebook or on your phone, it never happens that way.
Yeah, it never happens that way. The original plan was he was going to promote his YouTube channel, and I was going to sell anime figures, and we were going to like split the booth down in half that way.
Okay.
But then I figured, you know what? The Retro World Expo people are probably more inclined to spend $150 on a cool retro game than on a half-naked anime girl figure. So I figured, we'll pivot, do another move there, because the second move we were thinking was we would sell custom artwork video game boxes.
Huh.
Because the distributor that I get like all my boxes for shipping these anime figures also does like DVD cases.
Oh, okay.
So I can get those in bulk. We'd have a printer there to run off. Like someone brings us a copy of Power Stone and it's just the bare disc. We can get the Power Stone case art made for the DVD case scale and then print that out and sell them the case that way. But we actually ran the numbers on that and we'd have to sell a whole lot to even break even. So we figured that was not
that's one of those kind of like, I don't know about that.
Yeah, exactly. So we pivoted again and decided, you know what, we're just gonna put on a good show and get some subscribers for the Pandas YouTube channel. That said, it is a convention. So I did do plenty of shopping. And that said,
yeah, I see a big figure in the back there.
Yeah, all my stuff. So I'm gonna get into stuff right now, because not only is this stuff I bought at the convention, but this is also just stuff I bought generally between last show and this show. So I'll start with the domestic release games that I've gotten between last show and this show. I picked up Armored Core Project Phantasma for the Sony PlayStation. With this, I have 2 out of the 3 Armored Core games that came out of the PlayStation. There's actually one I got, I think 2 days ago, called Lethal Skies 2 for the PlayStation 2. I've actually never played anything in the Lethal Skies franchise, but it's a flight game and it looks pretty interesting. And it was like $4. So I'm like, okay, I can waste $4 on this, sure.
And if nothing else, you can end up using it as a frisbee if it's terrible.
Yeah. It's actually for a plan I'm planning on to execute on Twitch that is not 100% fleshed out yet, but we'll see. I also got Armored Core Nexus and Armored Core 9breaker for both for PlayStation 2. And with these, I now own every Armored Core game that ever came out on the PlayStation 2.
Okay. I would have more to comment on there, except I am completely clueless when it comes to those type of games.
Oh, yeah.
I only played the demo. It was like the PlayStation demo disc.
I remember that demo disc.
Oh, that had Armored Core on it.
When I think of the PlayStation demo disc, I remember the one that I think everybody had that had fucking IQ on it.
Yes, that was it.
They also had, there was the other one that had like Tekken 2.
I remember that one.
And it also had Jet Moto.
Yeah, I remember that one.
Yep. You remember. Yeah.
And then for the Sega Saturn, I got Gun Griffin, it's an old school mech game. The mechs control a lot like tanks. Like, it actually reminds me of the machines from Botoms, where they're doing the, like, a lot of the movement isn't legs moving, it's actually just them rolling across the ground on like tank treads and thrusters.
Treads, yeah. I was just thinking, what's the word we need here?
So in addition to getting a bunch of domestic release games from Retro World Expo, I also got a whole bunch of import games. There's a guy selling import games there, and
jackpot.
There are actually a few people selling import games there, and quite a few of them caught my eye.
Okay, let's see them.
So this is one I bought sight unseen. It's called Crime Crackers. It's a Doom
I've heard of that.
I like the name. It almost makes it sound like it's Chippendales or something, like Rescue Rangers or something like that.
What is that for again? Saturn?
PlayStation.
Original PlayStation, it looked like.
Yes, I remember that. Crime Crackers.
Do you have a system that can even play it, or was it just a collectible?
Mostly a collectible, though I can probably get an emulator to play it.
I don't know. I've heard that Nintendo actually cracked down on a bunch of those sites.
Yeah.
Well, no, I already have the emulator. Like the emulator.
The emulator itself, not so much. It's the games, the ROMs.
What is it? The big one, Emu Paradise.
Yeah, that's gone. That sucks. But you know.
Nintendo's kind of bad, and I tried to tell people that, but they didn't listen to me.
And it was just always right the first time.
Hey,
I also
that doesn't count. He's got time manipulation powers.
I got.
Which is why Homura should be.
Wait. Hang on.
What I guess is the Katakawa Best edition of Lunar 2 Japanese
Eternal Blue, right?
Edition. Yep.
Yeah. I like Lunar. Those are fun games.
I know all, but I never played.
Working Designs did the translation for that. Yeah, localization.
Yep.
And at one point they were actually really good, but they had this. Excuse me, I'm having a frog in the throat moment. Ribbit. But no, they were notorious for their sort of pop culture references they'd stick in there.
Yeah, Lunar especially.
Yeah, the first like Silver Star story. Holy shit! I mean, they reference Wheaties for fuck's sake.
Also, fun fact: Lunar series and Gun Griffin, same developer.
Mm-hmm. Oh, that wasn't Atlas, was it? No.
Game Arts.
Game Arts. Okay, yeah. I couldn't remember. It's been so long since I played Lunar.
And I got Battle Arena Toshinden 2, Japanese for the PlayStation.
Clearly the import.
Do you have? Can I ask you? Because they're reissuing the kit of the main ship from this game. Do you have the game, Ray Storm, for original PlayStation?
No, but I've heard of it.
Okay.
Yo, I've heard of it. I mean, even I've heard of it.
That is one of my favorite spaceship shooter ships designs.
Okay. Continue on.
So continuing, let me actually take this out of the plastic. I have Super Dimension Fortress Macross for the Sega Saturn.
Oh.
Again, see, this is why he loves the Saturn games, is because they completely went all in on pretty much the anime styled stuff.
Oh yeah.
That's probably why we got fucked over with it too.
I also got Super Dimension Fortress Macross on the PlayStation 2.
Mm-hmm.
I imagine they're different games.
Yeah, I believe the Saturn one is a shmup.
Wasn't that Min-May on the cover there?
Yeah, it's Min-May.
Yeah, I thought so.
Saturn one's a shmup, I believe, and the PlayStation 2 one is more like a 3D spaceship game. Kind of like Ace Combat. And this is one I was really pumped to be able to find and get. And the Panda actually got a copy of this one too. This is Police Knots for the PlayStation.
Oh, I've heard of it.
So this is one of Hideo Kojima's more famous early titles.
I was gonna say I saw the Konami logo.
Yep. So got all that. I also picked up Nights into Dreams. So the original game was on the Sega Saturn.
I know I've seen that logo somewhere.
They remade it for the PlayStation 2, and the remake of that never came out. And then more recently, they re-released it on Steam and whatnot.
Mm-hmm. Speaking of games that have been released on Steam, the Shining Force games are.
Ooh, I'm gonna have to get down on that.
Yeah, I was always a big fan of those. They were never as well put together as Tactics in terms of those type of games, because they were earlier examples of AI like that.
Right.
And Shining Force, the original one, has some really stupid fucking AI. But in 2, you can actually manipulate. You can actually choose how smart your AI actually is.
Mm.
You know, you can there's 4 difficulty levels. So it kind of let you see how bad you wanted to get it, basically.
So this particular release of the Knights PS2 re-release comes with the game naturally. It also comes with an interesting art book, which I'm to understand basically tells the story of Nights into Dreams and has a lot of character artwork
Does it have
and
like the
whatnot.
line art and things like that? Like basically you're kind of like building block stuff like before it's colored in and all that?
Not quite. So it goes through and kind of tells the story, or if I'm to understand, it tells the story. And then you get like,
So it's basically like a NES game used to be. Like you had no idea what the story was on some of them unless you had the instruction booklet.
pretty much.
I actually have to believe that was largely an American thing. Because there were a lot of them that probably actually did tell you, but they spent too much time dicking around with the specifics rather than getting to the nitty gritty.
Well, I mean, a lot of the time for a lot of these earlier games.
Well, earlier ones, yeah, like especially if they were ports. Holy crap!
Yeah, exactly.
It's like Double Dragon. How much do you need to know? Guys come up, they come up, they punch your chick in the stomach and take off with her. I mean, it's like that's the fucking plot, you know. You're just, but I love the fact that you're just walking around beating the shit out of people. Like you know, people that probably don't have anything particularly to do with anything.
Yeah, exactly.
It's just like, hey, there's these guys in this rough-looking neighborhood. Let's fuck them up.
You assume they're in the same gang as the guy
or even
who
part of a
stole your-
gang. It's just some dude walking around in baggy pants, like came out of Walmart or something. Just like, hey, what the fuck,
It's called
dude?
profiling.
Yeah.
So I also got this. This is the Utaha Kasumi Gaoka from Saikano,
Yeah.
1/7 scale, I believe, from Alpha Max.
Very nice. And like they're not even pretending what the main feature here is.
They really are not, and they did a really good job on it.
Yeah. Even from afar, it's still very rumpy.
And then I also picked up the Gun Gale Online first volume of the light novel.
All right. Might I ask a quick question? Is a bit of a interjection. It's not terribly important, but is there any kind of story, funny things that happened while you were there? Or is this purely just mostly just a shopping tale?
Mostly just a shopping tale. There really wasn't much chance.
No
for
popping at 306 level kind of stuff.
Yeah, there really wasn't much chance for any of that to happen because one or both of us were at the booth at all times, basically.
Okay.
We did play a round of Sonic Shuffle.
Oh, I actually saw you post or repost or something that video.
For which the panda was quite intoxicated.
I can only imagine that if things weren't broken, it was close. Because, like you said, that's kind of one of those games that you lose friends playing.
Yeah, no, I'm not going to spoil the outcome, but some weird shit that I didn't even think could happened in that game.
Okay, I'll take a look at it later.
And then I also picked up Used because the Funimation embargo is still in effect for me. Rumbling Hearts on DVD.
Okay,
which is something I've been meaning to finish.
Did that come with antidepressants?
Nope. So I'm gonna have to steel myself. I already know what's coming. Like
Okay.
I already know it's not gonna be a fun time.
No, because that title actually in its original form was The Eternity You Wish For.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're not playing around.
No. They just decided we'll call it Rumbling Hearts. That gets to the point a little easier.
Though actually, regarding the Funimation embargo, and realistically, because previously I wouldn't even have picked up a Funimation title Used, but I've heard some stirrings along corners of the internet that Funimation hasn't done exactly what I would have wanted them to do, which is fired those people, but they've restructured in such a way that the people responsible for what happened to Prison School and Maid Dragon and Hajime no Gal are no longer writing scripts.
Okay, I might loosen it just simply for the fact that I still want fucking Keijo.
Yeah, like that basically. So it's basically the same reason that I even decided to buy Rumbling Hearts Used, because it's like Well, so the conditions of my embargo were that I'm not buying Funimation titles until I see a commitment to better dubbing practices. And while best case scenario, as far as I'm concerned, would have been those people losing their jobs because they didn't do their jobs right.
And the way they acted after asked about it, basically.
Yeah, exactly.
Wasn't exactly professional.
No, it was highly unprofessional. But it does in a way satisfy the conditions of my embargo. So I'm gonna wait a bit.
I still don't want him to get Macross.
No, I don't want. Yeah, I don't want them to get Macross on principle.
Yeah, no.
I don't think they would get Macross anyway.
Yeah,
I don't think they're gonna go for it.
Discotheque or Nozomi.
Yeah, I think Discotheque or Nozomi will pick that one up probably.
Or maybe Sentai, because they've been
maybe.
Sentai might actually do it
because they had Macross on DVD for a while. You know that,
right? Well, my point is the point is though. I don't care who gets it as long as they don't.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's a principle thing. It has,
A Funimation would rather go after Ava again.
Well, somebody fucking needs to. I mean, the fact that it's in limbo right now is.
That's because they want. Probably because all the movies have to all come out.
Well, not only that, but I'm willing to bet on the Japanese side they're trying to renegotiate contracts with that,
probably.
and they know what a title they have, and they're not being cheap about it.
Yeah, because Ava was one of those things that it was sold probably really cheap back then.
It was. As far as I know, on the Japanese side of it, they weren't actually happy about that. The way ADV handled it.
I realized that when that came out here, that must have been one of the earliest. There were cases, but that was one of the earliest, like, releasing an anime TV series, but not on TV here, like through
just straight up releasing it here in its entirety.
Yeah, on tape.
Yeah, and it was on tape, and you got 2 episodes for tape, and it was like a $30 fucking tape.
Because when you think about it, what was most of what was released then at that time?
OVAs and movies. Yeah, that is true. ADV, even the stuff that ADV put out before was mostly that, like Devil Hunter Yoko or.
Yeah, that's all OVAs.
Yeah, exactly.
They would sometimes try to get TV series, but they always gave up if it didn't sell that well.
Right, and that's partially why some of the earlier attempts at it, just kind of fizzled out.
Actually, I do know what now I know one thing that was on tape that was released was Rama 1.5.
Yeah, that was an early one. Viz had that. Anyway, enough of that. Let's kind of continue on here.
All right, so yep, Sonic Shuffle happened, Retro World Expo happened,
Hole in the Wall happened.
I'm actually coming off this weekend off of a convention called Camp Anime.
Camp Anime, like Camp.
Late back, is that like Euro Camp?
No, I was thinking more along the lines of Salute Your Shorts. Like where they hoist up the underwear and shit.
So it's basically an anime summer camp. It's held at a summer camp.
Oh wow. Interesting.
So yeah, a lot of the events are outdoors.
Is there like cabins and shit like that, or
there's cabins and stuff?
Oh wow, I was kind of joking.
Yeah, like you can stay there overnight if you choose to.
Fucking everybody's got mosquito bites out the wazoo.
Yeah, they're out on there. It's on a lake, so there's boating and stuff.
Okay, that actually sounds like it'd be cool.
It's actually a pretty cool event.
Like if somebody invited me there, I'd be all over that because that just sounds like it'd be a good time. Just get some barbecue going. Yeah,
like that. They had a bonfire and hot dogs and s'mores.
Oh hell yeah! That's like being a young kid going away in like a camper and fucking like to a lake and except it's anime.
I played dodgeball Friday.
Ooh, did you play by the kind of you weren't playing with like volleyballs or anything, were you?
All the balls were small, so it was like
He's like looking
I
for a
have tape
reference.
measure here somewhere. Here we go. They were all like, I don't know, maybe 6-8 inches in diameter.
Right.
So they were small, but they had the
padding, squishy kind of
inflatable balls. They had one that was basically a volleyball, and they had 6 to 8 inch diameter versions of actual dodgeballs.
Oh, okay.
Like
because
actual playground balls.
Because when I was a kid, before gym became this like you can't get hurt anymore, sort of thing, they actually used volleyballs, and those hurt like a son of a bitch if they hit you in the face.
Oh yeah, no, I've gotten hit in the face with a volleyball.
I've got one hit.
They sting big time. Like they made us stop using those because I guess too many people complained, and I was just thinking, well, at least
maybe they need to learn how to dodge.
Yeah, dodge.
Well, that's what I should have done.
Listen, I was Macross 7ing some dodgeballs.
No, I was good at the game. I hardly ever got hit. I was pretty wiry. I did the thing where I would like spring off the wall and shit like that. Like you put your foot off of it and like propel yourself off of it out of the way and shit like that. Like you're trying to be in a Bruce Willis movie or some shit. Ah!
Yeah, sports and me don't mix. So there you go.
You like I said, used to be good at it.
Yeah, no, I'm surprisingly athletic given the fact that I basically don't work out at all.
I was. I'd probably get creamed if I tried it now. Just on the thing that I haven't played it in a long.
Well, it's mostly reflexes.
It is.
It's mostly being able to judge where the ball is going to go and get yourself out of that pocket.
Absolutely no large motor coordination. I'm very good at micro. What's that word? Like what's that word when you like
hand-eye coordination?
Yeah, no. Yeah, no. Well, I'm terrible with large motor skills. Fine motor skills. That's what I'm good at.
Okay. Well, fine. At least they weren't using medicine balls. You end up killing somebody with one of those.
No, it was dodgeball Friday.
Go ahead, make fun.
Battle Saturday. So
I couldn't hear you. VZ was talking.
It was dodgeball Friday. It was a Nerf battle Saturday.
Oh, Nerf. Okay, yeah.
So the result is everything is sore right now.
Like tear a ligament trying to run. Get out of the way. And then there was an old fashioned game of the floor is hot lava. Jumping off roofs of cabins and
so that was a good time.
It sounded like that'd be a lot of fun.
Yeah. The event's been running for several years, but this is my first time.
Was that also in Hartford?
No.
Where was that? Just
it was in Woodstock.
Okay. So did the Grateful Dead grace your presence? Or the ghost of the Grateful Dead, I should say.
The Grateful Dead for real this time.
Yeah, the Grateful Dead, except they're actually dead. Probably not so grateful, but they're dead.
Yeah, that was a good time. And other than that, watched a few episodes of My Teen Romantic Comedy Snafu 2, which is a very intelligent show that nobody should be sleeping on. But like
I never said, but I know of it.
I'm aware of it. I've just never really, the title just never pulled me in.
It has not necessarily trap, but just really feminine character.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a really
so it sounds like you had a pretty good time at this excursion.
Yep. I watched shit from this season, except 4 episodes of that Panties anime.
I watched some stuff that we'll get into a little later, as it's actually more befitting of the next topic.
Yeah.
Or next segment, rather.
Topic.
Yeah. So that's kind of what I did. Had last weekend was a thing. I'm not going to get into it, but yeah, it was my birthday. Wasn't all that hot for reasons that were not really necessarily anybody's fault. Just one of those things where everything almost aligned
Yeah, a whole bunch of bad shit just converges.
Yeah, on like one particular event, and it just kind of throws everything out of flux.
Oh, you don't have to tell us.
Oh no, well, it would just be kind of boring. So and long-winded and not really worth it. But I'm just explaining why last weekend was kind of a no-go.
Gray Forrester in the IRC is very smart and is one of these people who is not sleeping on My Teen Romantic Comedy Snafu.
Okay.
So do you need to have a high IQ to watch this? You know when they joke about that.
I was gonna say, I don't know, probably a higher one than Rick and Morty fans.
Well, that's where my joke comes.
That's
Here's
the
thing.
The joke.
You don't need a high IQ to watch it, but if you do watch it, guarantee you have a higher IQ than people who aren't watching it, than people who are sleeping on it.
Anyhow,
I guess that leaves me, unless you have more. Do you have more? Anything else?
Anubis.
VZ, hit it.
Okay. So not all, but most of the shows I've been watching have finished up. Sunohara, so finished. You know the show that no company picked up for.
Yeah, for reasons that.
So I had to be fan subbed the traditional way.
Yeah, for reasons that are not fooling anybody.
Media Blasters will probably pick it up.
Which means we'll never see it.
No,
yeah.
I mean, you never know. Sentai could get that. Sentai is cool. That shit. What else? What finished? Oh, Chio-chan finished. That was most of these shows were kind of 4 out of 5.
I know one of my buddies actually didn't like that show so much because they were a bigger fan of the manga.
Yeah, I heard some people complain that the manga is much better. That some of the jokes
just don't work in an anime context or something.
Some of the jokes dragged on more than they needed to. I kind of agree with that sentiment. I still like it. But I would say like kind of a 4 out of 5 type of show.
See, you do the thing that I actually like when people review. Use the 5 system.
Yeah.
If you're gonna use a numerical system, that just always seemed to be the smarter way to do it. Maybe I just got spoiled early on by fucking GamePro or something. If you remember all those stupid smiley faces they had.
Oh yeah.
And the thumbs up and crap.
Asobe Asobase ended today. That show was so much better than I initially started in the beginning. So if there's anything from the season you need to check out, I actually really recommend that. Besides Cells at Work, that's the other one. That Asobe and Cells at Work are probably the best 2 shows to see. And of course, my Cinderella Girls crack.
Naturally.
Well, there you have it.
So, but other things I watched, I finally saw the 6th Gundam, The Origin.
Oh.
So you finally saw it, huh?
Or was that not the most satisfying thing possible?
It was good. It was
It goes like it just goes directly into Mobile Suit Gundam.
Well, one thing I really enjoyed about that, without going on about it too much, because we'll be doing a serial on that down the line.
Yeah.
But yeah, like we haven't already done a whole bunch of rambling about Gundam. But I like the cameos they squeezed in at the end. They like in the last episode they started trying to squeeze in like hey.
Yeah, it's like all.
It's Bright Noah.
You see all the characters we know and love from original Gundam start showing up.
Kind of
from
like.
what I understand, the manga actually shows like the Gundam and all that.
This wasn't, but you gotta understand, this wasn't truly adapted from that.
Well, yeah, the whole thing about the Gundam the Origin manga is that Gundam the Origin, the manga, is the story of First Gundam. What we're seeing in the OVA series is a flashback, like an entire flashback sequence from the original manga.
Yes.
Yeah, and it works really well because, let's be honest, the origin, if you follow it all the way to its conclusion, can't possibly be canonical.
Well,
Simply for numerous things that happen. I won't spoil it for people who haven't, but let's just say there's no way you could do that. Not that you shouldn't go read it.
Wow.
Because I'll be straight up. Those hardbacks they got for that are fucking awesome.
Yeah, they look very nice.
They are very, very well detailed and look very. What's the right word here? They look posh.
Yeah.
That was a damn near Dave Chappelle facial expression.
Do I have a drop in for that? I don't even know. They look posh. I haven't heard that word in a decade.
Hey, well, yeah, since the
the
Spice Girls were popular.
Exactly. I haven't heard that word since the last time I talked about the Spice Girls, which was at least a decade ago.
Well, it's just like, can't you imagine going into an anime themed hotel and just be like, yeah, this is posh. I like this.
Oh, this looks quite posh. Oh, yes.
The drapes, they are, yeah. Yeah. Whew. 50-year-old outdated terms that nobody uses anymore.
Posh. But yeah, no, the books do look very good.
Yeah, they do the thing where not only are they hardback, but they got the wraparound sort of like what's the word here? Like it's not I don't think montage is the right word.
High end.
No, that's not the word I'm looking for at all. A collage. It kind of has like a collage effect because the way it wraps around the image. Yeah. Cool stuff. I think there's like 12 of them or something like that.
Something like that.
Yeah, there's more than you'd think there would be. It's pretty sizable. It look like if you had it on a rack, it would look like you have an encyclopedia.
Encyclopedia of Gundam.
Encyclopedia.
Gundam.
How the Earth got destroyed. No.
Give it to the
Encyclopedia of the Destruction of Australia.
Give it to the Ministry of Agriculture. Yeah, I hope you please tell me you know what reference I'm talking about.
Yes.
Then they could truly say they're the Ministry of Gundam.
Yeah. Anyway.
No, actually, one more thing I want to touch on is so I was watching some of on YouTube the original Rainbow Bright, which you kind of counts as anime because it was animated in Japan. And
okay, let's not get into that semantic argument
because technically
semantic arguments guy.
Because if you go by that, technically so is parts of Captain Planet.
Yeah,
I know.
Which
you want to go down that rabbit hole?
CoPro.
Well, here's the thing: the in the credits, some of the episodes had Osamu Dezaki as the director.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, the same one that did the Gogo 13 movie.
Yeah, which I should mention, I believe it was the Anime Encyclopedia who really had it in for that.
Yes.
Along with Tenchi Muyo and Ron Mahaf.
Haters.
Oh, she hated that too?
Oh, yeah. Like, they talked about... Let's just say, like, the things they said about it seemed like they had a personal beef with it. Like, it wasn't that they just didn't like it. Like, it personally affected them negatively.
Haters.
Like it broke into their house or something, you know? Broke into your house and wasted your time, even though it didn't force you to watch it. Yeah.
But it's all the things to be offended by. It's like...
It wasn't offended. Like, you don't understand. It was more like... Not really offended, offends my intelligence kind of, offended. Not like isn't, oh, this material is like, offensive. More like this makes me feel stupid watching it.
This isn't aimed specifically at me, so it's bad.
Oh,
Okay, we can go with that. It's not posh. Okay. I think this is probably, unless you have anything else, it's probably a good place for a break.
I'm good.
Okay.
There is one thing I want to mention very quickly.
Sure.
I'm gonna let's news it because it's technically news.
Okay.
Let's news. Working to restore power.
The guy who you can tell how informal this is because I'd actually forgotten that I wanted to mention this until just now. The guy who everyone got on because he liked some anti-Semitic tweets on Twitter. Was it the director of the
I know who you're talking about.
It was the director of the anime about the neat Christmas cake woman who finds love on an MMORPG.
Yeah, okay.
That guy came out and basically laid bare all of the stuff, like all of what Crunchyroll was doing. Which if people had listened to me next episode, wouldn't be surprised. Last episode, wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah, see, he's getting his tenses mixed because he can do that. He's like the only person I know who can actually get his past and future actually crossed.
If people had listened to me last episode, and quite frankly, if people had listened to me at all, wouldn't be surprised because they would know that number one, the production committees that fund the anime get all the money first, and the studios get what trickles down from sales of DVDs and sometimes merchandise. And that's the way it's been for a very long time. That's the way it kind of has to be, because unless people are invested in making the anime doesn't get made at all. So
right, there's got to be some kind of capital somewhere.
Yeah,
that gets put into the matrix.
So if you're surprised at this revelation, you shouldn't be, or you should have been listening to me, but you were sleeping. So that's number one. Number two, people are out here trying to discount what the guy's saying because he's apparently a Nazi. When number one, that doesn't follow at all. Number two, guarantee okay, let's assume the guy's a Nazi. He's still a director in the anime industry, so he probably knows more about the way the industry works than some rando on Twitter.
Well, it's kind of like the thing where
but
it's like a joke somebody told me a long time ago. It's like, well, if a Nazi says the sky is blue, it doesn't change the fact that the sky is blue.
Exactly.
That sort of thing. Yeah, but it's one of those things where problematic people can't be right about anything, right? I you know what I mean? It's one of those things where if they have the wrong basic worldview, nothing they say can be accurate or true, even if it is.
And this is how I know that this paradigm is a very, very recent thing, because like 5, 6, 7 years ago, Twitter was the stupidest bullshit imaginable.
Oh yeah, like
people
put it this way:
people would mention Twitter like Twitter.
What the hell would you be doing on there?
Why does everyone need to know if I'm eating a pizza?
Yeah, exactly. Because that was years ago. That was one of the big features. People posting what their daily routine with their lunch and shit.
Yeah, it was like, microblogging.
I made number 2.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it was like they would like I microwaved a TV dinner and have a picture of it and everything. It's just like, who the fuck cares about that?
Yep.
But apparently people did.
Well, no, suddenly it's become this whole thing where if you're caught liking the wrong things on Twitter, you're gonna get a whole bunch of people descending upon you. And I just think that's a very interesting dynamic. I think it's a very interesting dynamic, and I think it's kind of indicative of where we're going or where we're currently at with the times right now, that what was previously the stupidest possible thing you could make a big deal about is suddenly a big deal.
And not only that, but
the wrong tweets.
But it seems like everybody who's got a considerable follower account almost has fucking this army of bottom feeders that will fucking research people like with like under a microscope at levels that have to be stalking.
Oh yeah, because those people, the bottom feeders, think that if they latch on to these movements or these high name people like Remoras, and basically go out and do research and shit on their enemies because they think it's going to make them look good in the eyes of whoever they've latched onto.
They'll see
they
it
don't
as
provide
them.
any value otherwise, and
No.
unless they were doing that, they wouldn't be doing anything worthwhile. So they latch on to whoever they like at the time and do what is ostensibly their bidding, I guess.
Yeah, they're cronies. I mean, on some level, but they're cronies that aren't necessarily selected by the people. They're just kind of attached on like by tendrils, and they're like, hey, you don't like this person? Here's some info.
Yeah.
I spent all night getting it for you.
Yeah,
basically. Exactly. It's like anyway. Let's not dwell on that.
Once again, yes, there are problems with the way Crunchyroll does things, and quite frankly, the problem isn't that they're not giving money to the studios, because anyone who knows how the anime industry works knows that it doesn't work that way. The problem is that they're misleading their consumer base and by having them under the impression that they're doing this huge service to the downtrodden animators, and this isn't to make light of the conditions animators work under, because they're horrendous, but Crunchyroll's not helping that, and they have their their consumer base under the impression that they are, and that's wrong. That's wrong to me.
And with that,
educating people up about how the industry works instead of using this paradigm to guilt people into making more, into giving them more money for their crappy service. That said, we're up against the break. Keep it right here on NTR Radio.
And I am going to get something to drink. I need some water.
I'll be back too.
Roger.
Okay, let me find my mute.
I am ready.
VZ's back.
Oh, I remember Mischief Makers. That was the Nintendo 64 game.
Hmm.
That was kind of like a female Mega Man.
I've heard of this game, but I don't think I've actually seen anything. Okay, yeah. I remember this cover art.
Yeah, it's like a female Mega Man.
Oh, developed by Treasure.
There was a game on the N64 called Glover.
Oh, I remember Glover.
It's
I
just
never played it, but I remember.
No, I never really played much at N64 because I didn't have one, and
Yeah, me neither.
they got the PlayStation. They're doing a PlayStation Mini now.
Yeah, apparently it's not very good. Like, apparently looking at the specifications and looking at what's included in with it.
Yeah, you gotta buy a an adapter. It doesn't come with one.
Yeah, that's kind of dumb. It's kind of really dumb.
Yeah, most of the games, like other than Final Fantasy VII, the other stuff I don't really care about.
And it doesn't come with like the controllers it comes with aren't the analog controllers. It's just the regular ass PlayStation controllers.
Well, that was because it was before the analog thing.
Well, yeah, but why not include the analog controllers? There's no reason not to.
I guess because they want to make it nostalgic for that.
Did Sony make that? Because I know Sega contracted a different company to make the Genesis Mini.
What, the controller?
No, the PlayStation Classic.
Oh, no, I think it's Sony themselves.
Okay, that explains why it's shitty.
I think it's just Sony themselves.
Sony doesn't know what they're doing. They've never known what they're doing.
Yeah, but At Games keeps fucking up with the Genesis thing. So
yeah, that's why I'm saying. I know a different Sega contracted a different company to make the Genesis thing, and that's probably why it's shitty.
I mean, say what you want about Nintendo and that, at least their mini things have been successful and been really good for what they're designed to do.
Well, to be fair, it's also Nintendo. And like, however much I shit talk Nintendo, they do know what they're doing.
Back.
One of the
Sony doesn't know what they're doing and has never known what they were doing. And it's evident with the PlayStation Classic.
I know, but it's one of the games that stood out. Like, there it is. Perfect for Anubis. Come
Tekken?
on. Yep.
Of course they have Tekken.
I think it was Tekken 2 specifically, but
let's see what games are on this.
Yeah, I actually don't know. I saw that they were doing that, and it's like, oh, Nintendo and Sega did this. I guess they think they need to do it too.
Okay.
Like those are the only two I know by name. Like memorization.
What do they have like the release of those?
Like I guess they have
some of the games listed. They haven't included all.
Okay.
It just says 20. It says 20 games.
20 games, but like they got some examples like FF7's on there naturally.
Okay, well let's be honest, that one should be there.
Oh, of course.
Oh, here we go. Yeah, Jumping Flash, that was like the first game for that system.
I've never heard of Jumping Flash in my entire life.
Okay, I'm looking at the thing where it shows here. I think. Okay, no, this
Ridge
is just...
Racer, which it might sound like I'm saying it as a joke, Ridge Racer, but Ridge Racer is actually pretty good.
Tekken 3.
Tekken 3, which is terrible.
Wild Arms.
Wild Arms. which I'm to understand is a good game, but I've never played any of the Wild Arms series, so I wouldn't quite know.
Jumping Flash. That was like one of the
I can tell you a game that there should be on here, but I don't think it's been announced yet.
Tomba. I'm actually not joking. Tomba was a good game.
Okay. Symphony of Night needs to be on there.
Yes.
If you're
Does
talking
it require
about
analog controls, because if it does, guess what ain't going on the PlayStation Classic, because they didn't include the analog controls.
no. FF Tactics would be a good one too. But anyway, you know what shouldn't be on here? Mortal Kombat Mythologies.
I played the one, the one that just had all of them in one game.
That's Mythologies isn't even a fighting game.
Right,
Oh.
that was the story. No,
Yeah, it was a beat 'em up.
Like Virtua Quest.
Yeah, and it was hard as fuck because it wasn't particularly.
Well, they did that. They did that also as a Sub-Zero spin-off for.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, that was that. Yeah, but that was they had one. Oh, all right, then it was on for both.
Cool Borders. I played that.
Cool Borders, yeah.
I used to play that one a lot, actually. My butt. You know what other game they used to have? It was part of that old. What the fuck were those called? I mean, they of course had Crash Bandicoot, but
Naturally.
But what was the other one they had on there? Oh, Nightmare Creatures.
Yeah, I've never played that one.
Like I remember playing that originally when I can't even remember how old I was, but I remember he had this really wicked sound system. And like anytime there was a sudden boom or something, it like scared the fuck out of everybody. Because he had this really dynamic like 5.1 speaker system. You know what I mean? Where he's got like the 3 up front and the 2 behind you.
Right.
And like every time there would be a big thud or a sudden rise and music swell, it would just like it felt like you were getting hit in the chest. Which is good.
In the RC has a question, then let's get back to the show. What are your opinions on Nintendo's online service? Probably terrible, because it always has been. Because Nintendo is deathly afraid of pedophiles on their online service, so they've basically gone through every. And I don't know that for sure.
I thought it was because
other people
they don't want like online harassment. I thought that was
yeah. That's basically what I'm saying. So as a result, their online service lacks a lot of features that are pretty standard in basically any other online service,
like talking to each other.
Yeah, like voice chat or being able to identify someone by a screen name rather than a number.
Okay, I think we should get on with the show.
Let's get on with the show. Let me hit up some lemonade first.
Okay.
Raystorm on for that. Just put Raystorm on there.
You're gonna lead off though, still, right? Hold on,
Yes, indeed.
Okay, I've got my list of important stuff here.
3, 2, 1. Welcome back to NTR Radio.
And now for something completely different.
Yeah.
Not really, but as we announced last time, we were going to be doing a serial, and this is the history of anime. It's likely going to be 7 or 8 episodes, if it plays out the way I think it will.
The actual history of anime, not some sort of made-up thing filtered through nostalgia.
Oh, no. This isn't really about the stuff. This isn't really about us just picking favorite stuff from every decade. This is us talking more about what was important and why, and all like the formation of kind of important stuff, kind of cornerstones of I'm just laughing in the thing. We got a thing in the fucking chat.
Yeah, but you know, like how people, was like, oh, things were better, back then.
That's not the history. That's an opinion.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know that. That's what I'm saying.
But what I'm saying is that's just opinionated. That's not facts.
They're fundamentally not doing the history of anime if they're doing that.
Okay, so might as well start at the beginning. Should we talk about? I'm not sure about this. Should we talk about kind of the things that led to what anime actually became? Like,
Yeah.
like the wood blocks and all that.
Yeah, the wood blocks, Kamishibai, stuff like that.
Right. So you want to lead off on that, or because I actually don't have a thing up at the moment.
Well, I mean, for centuries they've always had pictorial storytelling.
Right, and quite frankly, if you look at their writing system, the kanji and its various things, were originally based off pictograms.
Yeah, there were from China going through, and they're like each kanji is actually supposed to represent something close to the thing it's trying to actually the word it's for.
Now, this is a simplification of what they all ended up doing with their writing system, but
right.
But basically, that's the idea. And you could argue kind of all the mix of all that was pretty much what got them kind of where they were starting to think about this as an idea.
Right.
Okay, so one thing I want to talk about here, sometime before 1912, not to be confused with 1812.
Yeah, this is over 100 years ago.
Yeah. Possibly 1907 or 1908. I'm not sure if it's 100% nailed down, but there was a thing. It's called Katsudo Sashin. It is the earliest known Japanese piece of animation. It's a 4-second film strip. You can watch it on YouTube if you like. It's there.
It was like drawn right on the cell, right? On the celluloid, right?
Right. But please try not to interrupt. I wasn't done.
I was just explaining.
A 4-second film strip, and basically, God damn it, you threw me off. And it's basically just a guy turning around and writing, kind of spinning around and writing. It's not particularly well preserved by any means.
No.
It looks like, you ever see like an old VHS, you pop it in and it's just so messed up it's not even in focus anymore. The bottom and top are all just frazzled and shit.
The picture's jumping around.
Yeah, exactly. It's like it's really old and just kind of crappy. That's what this looks like. Again, but it is technically the first, I believe, as far as I know. If there's an earlier one, go ahead and tell us. But as far as I've checked out, this appears to be the oldest one that you can actually even still look at.
Yeah.
As far as I can tell. Now, we're going to be taking this up to about 1959. That's a good cutoff point because, and the reason we're going such a long stretch is because this period, there's not a whole lot of things that were put out in the grand scheme of things, just a few important ones that we're going to kind of look at because they're important to the overall development and significance of the art form.
Right. And then when you get into the 60s is when you get to...
It starts to become more of an industry and not just sort of a almost art house kind of...
Yeah, and you start to get into stuff that people will recognize.
Right, because and I'll preface this entire bit with the idea that none of this looks like anime as you're used to it.
No.
Not even close. I mean, at its best, it resembles Disney.
The Toei stuff.
Yeah, and that's a little later. But between... Now, the next one I'm going to look at, if any of you want to throw...
And it's just... It's a weird observation I have. When you see stuff like Katsudo Sashi and just a lot of these really early works of animation, or realistically, a lot of these really early works put on film, I always feel like the first few of anything like Katsudo Sashi is like proving that you can do something.
Yeah, it's almost like proof of concept.
Yeah, it's like,
hey. And the next one that I'm going to cover is even more of this.
Yeah.
It's going ahead a little bit, about 10 years, unless you guys have something else that you can throw in between.
Nope.
Okay, Nakamura Gatana. Or Gatana. It's from 1917. Okay, so World War I is still in play.
Yep.
Okay, this is the earliest Japanese animated short found, apparently. It's there's a couple versions of it that are about 40 seconds, but there actually is a 4-minute one or so, roughly. Again, you can go on YouTube and look it up. Same thing, it looks kind of out of focus and everything, given the materials, how old they are, and how not preserved they were. That's not surprising.
It's like we're lucky we can even watch this now.
Yeah, you're lucky you can even find something like this. It's weird because the look of it is not really black and white. It's like almost like through a yellow.
Yeah, kind of like it's through a filter or something like that.
Yeah, it's almost like you had some sort of like litmus paper and you put it over it.
Right.
That's the best equivalency I can think of. Anyway, it's basic. It doesn't look anything like anime as we think of it. It's a guy testing out his sword, basically. He's like playing with it, kind of checking its sharpness. Yeah. And at one point he wants to kill a guy, which is very entertaining because he sneaks up behind him and he just gets like kicked in the face. It's kind of funny.
I'll kick you in the nuts.
There's no dialogue except for like the written stuff in the background.
Right.
It's not really like, so it's all just visually. Again, doesn't look anything like anime as we think of it. But it does have like I said, he's like sharpening his sword, kind of using his finger and cutting it a little bit, and it bleeds. And again, the characterization almost looks like, put it this way, if another country was doing it, it would almost look like caricaturish.
Yeah.
Like impossibly offensive. But since it was them, I guess you can't really make that claim. And it's pretty interesting because again, not only does it not look like anime, but it's portraying people like actual people.
Right.
It's again,
like it's not something highly fantastical or something like that. It's just supposed to be a regular dude. And
this is short. Again, you can find the short version of it and a longer version that's been kind of restored, probably just by some animation fanatic. It's again not high res by any means.
No.
None of this is. It's interesting though, in the sense that you can see that, okay, this is kind of even more so than that first 4-second bit. This is even more proof of concept.
Right.
Easily. Again, these things are entertaining more in kind of that's interesting sort of way, more than a like edge of your seat kind of or like, oh, that was an interesting use of this or that. No, it's much more
for the historical.
Right. Exactly. It's something that like just if you're an animation nerd, you'll appreciate. Kind of almost like when you look at commentaries or things like that.
Yeah,
it gives you that sort of insight that you otherwise wouldn't have. Between at least on the list I have here, the next one is from 1933. So if either of you have another one you want to throw in there.
No, but I am familiar with this next one.
Okay. I'm going to try not to fuck up these titles. I probably already have. Give me some credit. I'm not particularly trying to learn the language, so I'm doing my best here. Chikara to Ona no Yononaka? I believe that's how it's pronounced. Yeah, this is the first anime to have voiceovers, apparently. It's unfortunately also lost. You cannot get this, as far as I can tell. It's not on YouTube. People talking about it is on YouTube. But I don't think you can actually get it in any capacity. Because I could not find hardly anything about this.
No.
Other than just what it is and its importance. And again, more proof of concept kind of material, I assume.
Yep.
The interesting thing about it is the time period, 1933, because at this point Japan is already starting trouble with its neighbors.
Yep.
You had the Sino-Japanese War.
Yep.
constantly fucking with the Russians, which is which is interesting in the sense that they actually were kicking their ass too.
Oh yeah.
Their navy at the time was one of the world class ones. Actually,
they had
they had a modern navy when a lot of other people did not.
They had one of the best militaries in the world for a while.
Yeah, which made it easy for them to enforce kind of what they wanted to enforce at the time, because not too many people were equipped to deal with this. And not only that, but they had some really, again, just military history aside, they had some really smart commanders too.
Yes.
Like Yamamoto. I mean, he would come into play a little later.
Yeah.
And we'll get to that too. But we'll put it this way, I believe they still study him like up at naval academies.
That wouldn't surprise me.
Even here in the United States.
That wouldn't surprise me at all.
Because in the same way that people study like General Lee, in the sense that, he's technically wasn't fighting for us, but
yeah, it's like he wasn't fighting for us, but we can still learn a lot from him.
Yeah, same thing with Rommel or any of that.
Yep.
Very, very, very true. Again, didn't see anything. This is a lot. This is very difficult to find a lot of information. I think you would have to, if you wanted to find out more, you would almost have to know kanji and be able to read it fluently.
Right. To
be able to even search around Japanese websites and stuff to even find any kind of extraneous information you would get on it. But it's important to know because it is the first to use a voiceover. In a couple of years, and this is where it really starts to get interesting, in my opinion. You get Chagama Undo from 1935. This is the first anime to fully use cell animation. Okay. It's a short, or not a short. My bad. Well, it is short, but I don't know if it technically qualifies as what we now think of as short. It's like 5 minutes or something like that.
No, that's a short. It's definitely a short.
Well, yeah, okay. I'm not sure how they demarcate that now. I mean, what's the actual amount? Well, whatever. It's roughly about 6 minutes long. And this is, like I said, I think where you start to see anime start to sort of poke around a little more. Now that you've got the proof of concept, you've got them actually trying to do something more with it.
Right.
It's becoming a viable medium.
Right. And it's interesting the time on this because, again, just 2 years after the other thing, and they're in full swing as far as annoying their neighbors, for lack of a better term. But it's like about 6 minutes. The Disney-isms are starting to show already at this point because you've got the people kind of look different even than some of the earlier stuff they were working on. Even the kind of the plot, like them stealing this like record player, people catching a tanuki and gonna eat it, I guess. It's again, this is also on YouTube, by the way.
Right.
If you want to do a little bit of viewing of your own. And the thing that struck out and screamed Disney to me was the character that just throws their like limbs out and it becomes like a ladder and they climb up it. It like, is that or is that not old school Mickey Mouse?
Yeah, exactly.
Like just totally screams old Mickey Mouse cartoons. And I used to watch them, so and I wouldn't be surprised if at that point they had probably seen something like that, like that they had kind of peered over, like their visitors or something like that had seen something of that nature over here. It's also got kind of, like I said, it has a tanuki. That alone makes it very Japanese. And like the two people like take off with it. They try to get it off it's like suspended off the air, basically tied up there, and they try to get it down, and there's like an old lady waiting for him with a knife when they come down that this like psychotically laughs and shit. I should mention that this actually does have music in it, which is probably significant. because at least on this list is the first time I actually noticed anything actually having anything resembling a soundtrack.
Right.
And not much in the way of talking.
It's actually weird because the way film developed in the West was we got silent movies with background music before we got dialogue in any of our
right.
films.
And it's interesting you mention that because, and I know some people listening to this will probably groan, but Family Guy kind of poked a little bit of fun at that actually.
Oh yeah.
If you remember, where like shows their mouth move a little bit and a giant fucking piece of dialogue pops up,
Yep.
like that doesn't match with what they actually.
Oh look, it's pie.
Yep.
No, it just goes pie.
Yeah, exactly. It's kind of poking fun at that, but it's true. It actually kind of was like that.
Oh yeah.
I do remember, and I'll put this out there as an aside. Watch the silent movie of Phantom of the Opera. That's actually pretty good. I'm not a silent movie person, but that one works on a couple levels because that's a very musical oriented kind of concept anyway.
All right.
So I'll just put that out there. Anyway, nothing particularly crazy about it. Again, it's got some of the music, like when they steal off with the little record player, stole away with it. You got kind of this large gentleman that appears to be like a Buddhist monk or something. And again, it's very, very Japanese in that regard.
Yeah.
I mean, you know. But again, you can kind of see that things are starting to the wheels are moving a little bit.
Yeah, the wheels are moving. We're getting into it's starting to look more familiar.
Right. And again, not so much as anime, it looks much more like our stuff.
Yeah, it looks like old school Betty Boop cartoons, stuff like that.
Right. And the next one I'm going to mention actually is a little bit of a jump. So unless you want to put something in between it, but this next one's from 1943. We're dead in the middle of fucking World War II at this point.
Pearl Harbor has already
occurred. Yeah. And we are already fighting them over there. So there you go. This is Kumoto Tulip, 1943. Now, unless you have something between 35 and then that you want to kind of throw out there. No,
go for it.
Okay. Now, this was a very interesting one. This is a short too, but this is a much longer one. This is 15 minutes. This is way more detailed than anything that we've mentioned before. By far. The basic plot is a ladybug, trying to escape from a spider. Again, kind of a simple idea.
Yeah.
But it's much more detailed. It has singing, talking, music, and this is where the Disney really starts to show up because the classical music kind of stuff in the background and like even the singing characters,
I mean, even looking at the spider. The spider looks like what would be considered a highly racist caricature over here.
Yes, looks like they're in blackface, big time.
Yeah.
It's got like the little straw hat looking deal. I mean, you do expect them to start like kicking their legs and singing "Hello, my honey,"
Yeah, exactly.
Or "Mammy, Mammy," or something like that. I mean, the thing is about that though. It's hard to really tell if that was on purpose or not, or if it was just there's some sort of Japanese folklore that's referencing. Because
I'm wondering that too. Like, is it because maybe they were just referencing how we drew animation, but they didn't
there's that, but there's also that possibility that there's just some Japanese folklore about that.
Right.
Because up in the Netherlands, they have something like that nowadays people are bitching about, but it's actually not in reference to that at all.
Yeah, it's interesting how some of these things develop, like similar things sometimes develop in a vacuum independently.
Right, and it just happens to kind of...
There's the one Pokemon that they kind of had to change.
Yeah, I know. That was Jinx, I think it was.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Yes.
We'll get to that when we're actually at Pokemon, though, which it won't be for a while. But it's 15 minutes. It's enjoyable. It actually is. It's enjoyable for what it is, and the animation looks pretty good for the time. Like because you got the spider singing, doing his thing. Like all the detail of him like flinging his web around and swinging and climbing down and moving around and shit. So you're really getting to see sort of them kind of really stretching their wings out a bit. Whoever the animators in question.
Right.
Because you also have like a rainstorm that happens in it and it like knocking stuff around. And that looks really cool even now, by the way.
It actually kind of reminds me of Disney's Fantasia.
It really does, because like you see like it bouncing off leaves, moving around really fast and stuff, and it looks really neat even by today. I think so.
What's this one called?
Kumo to Tulip.
Yep.
Okay.
It's well worth looking at. Again, the time period it came in at 43 is very peculiar because again, World War II is in full swing at this point.
Yep.
Pearl Harbor has already occurred, so war has officially been declared against them. That might, the blackface spider thing, and it really does look like it. There's no way around it. It's hard to tell if that was just like I said, some sort of folklore or some sort of reference to like a Japanese deity or whatever, or if they were just copying what we were doing.
Yeah.
And because I really, really highly doubt it was meant to be that way.
Well, yeah.
I don't think there was any kind of sociological intention there.
Oh wow!
Considering
the images from this,
considering the time period, it could go either way.
It really could.
Maybe they've seen some Black Americans between Pearl Harbor and now,
right?
Pearl Harbor and when this came out.
Right. Because I really doubt that's a big feature of pre-war Japan. Seeing a bunch of that sort of thing. So yeah, there's that, and this was a big deal. And again, I thought it was really cool. I remember I actually watched it as part of sort of the homework aspect of doing this episode, and I thoroughly enjoyed it for what it was. I think it was the first thing anime related that I actually kind of enjoyed beyond just a historical context that I actually thought it was interesting to look at. Like I said, the spider moving around, that was the highlight of it. Just how it's always moving around, flinging around, making itself like a hammock. And again, and my favorite part, of course, was when the storm happened.
Yeah,
because that just looked cool and even
visually very impressive. Again, it reminds me of Fantasia.
And even
years prior, but
even by today's standards, I still thought it was cool.
Yeah, exactly.
So that should tell you how well that actually holds up. And again, it's old, so it might just be the way I was watching it, which was YouTube. And again, but you can actually buy this one if I'm not mistaken now. You can actually get this one now. I don't remember who put it out, but I actually think you can get this. And if you want a piece of anime history, there's nothing stopping you from doing it, and you can get a good price on it. I'd even go ahead and give it a thumbs up, just simply for the fact that it is interesting in a lot of different ways. And again, cool looking. And let's be honest, the footage, if you watch it on YouTube, is probably not as good looking as if it's released cleaned up or anything like that.
Right.
Anyway, moving along. Now we're going to get to probably the most controversial pick here. Okay. Momotaro Umi no Shinpei.
Yep.
1945. The war is on its way over, and this is the very first anime full-length film. And it also happens to be war propaganda in its entirety. By today's standards, well, any standards, but certainly by today's standards, this is xenophobic and very much racist. And I don't say these things lightly. I'm not one of those people. I don't like batting around terms like that. But in this case, it's actually true. Now, not that I'm going to get on my high horse. The United States was more than complicit in making material that would be considered not okay by today.
Here's the thing that happens in wartime. There, to a certain degree, and not to value judge whether this is good or bad in the grand scheme of things, but to a certain degree, in order to keep morale up for the war effort to make your country win, so to some level you have to how to put it, vilify, demonize, and other the enemy nation.
Well, yeah, it makes you less, and it also makes you less likely to care about killing them.
Yeah, dehumanize them.
Yeah. We got a comment here.
Go ahead.
In the chat, yeah, Komoto Tulip is licensed by Funimation, and so is Momotaro.
Huh.
So these two are, you can get these. And
given Funimation's very vocal
dubious
meanings, I'm actually kind of surprised that they
bothered to do that.
Have the license to Momotaro specifically.
Yeah, and quite frankly,
that it is very racist.
Yeah, and the two and Komoto Tulip, the whole blackface thing, I'm surprised that didn't completely turn them off from doing it. I mean, they've gotten mad over less and weird about less. So anyway,
but going on my point, Grey Forester in the RSA says, make your enemies look harmless. You make your enemies look like they're not human.
Right.
Well, that's why people come up with nicknames for their enemies during wartime. We had the Krauts during World War II, or the Japs during World War II again. The Charlie or Victor Charlie during Vietnam.
Yep.
Hajis during any conflict in the desert.
Yeah. So
yeah, this is the value judge any of that. This is what happens.
It is.
Anytime you go to war, and I guarantee you
they do the same thing.
They do the same thing.
We know they do.
We know they do.
Watch the propaganda right here. I mean, you know, it's. But
mention what I mentioned to you about the POW voice actors.
Oh, okay, yeah. You want to mention that because?
All right. Apparently, I've never seen this, but I know. I mean, of course, I know about what it is. From what I heard, that the enemies in the movie were voiced by American POWs. And
I'm not gonna lie, that is kind of fucked up. I mean, by any standard, that's pretty messed up.
Yeah.
But it is a movie, and it is a movie length. It's like an hour and 15 minutes. So that's a big jump from Komoto Tulip.
Yeah.
This is 2 years later. This is an hour longer, and it's a film. Now, granted, it probably got the financing and capital through the war chest, I'm sure, as part of like you said, morale boosting and dissent crushing and all that.
Yep. A lot of we still do that nowadays.
Oh yeah, I mean,
Top Gun was heavily backed by the U.S. Navy.
Oh yeah, and not only that, but more contemporary movies like Rocky IV was full of so much anti-Russian propaganda. It's not even funny, and it wasn't fucking subtle, not at all.
Cold War.
But I mean, when I was a kid, it wasn't as obvious. But holy shit, you know, you watch it as an adult, and it's like, oh wow, this isn't even trying, you know. That's not to say it isn't an enjoyable movie, but that's besides the point. No, but this is one of those movies that you probably would watch more for its historical bent than anything else.
Yeah,
because I doubt you really want to watch nationalistic Japanese propaganda.
Well, wait, don't we get that now?
No, you don't understand. No.
Well, here's the thing. They really couldn't, because they don't have a navy anymore. They don't have an army anymore.
Strike witches, Concoli.
Yeah, so that's the version of Japanese nationalistic propaganda now, is that,
and we'll come back to that in a future episode.
Stuff, yeah, exactly. Stuff they had in the past that they no longer have.
Mm-hmm.
There's no way they could make something like Momotaro now. No way.
Oh, hell no. That would. Well, they probably could. They just get yelled at.
Well, they'd get yelled. I don't even think that their people would be real big up on it.
Well, not only that, but asking for capital for that probably isn't going to get you the capital.
Yeah, you probably wouldn't get a production committee for Momotaro 2019.
I mean, there's it's not like Code Geass where there's an artistic, thing where you can kind of attach to it.
So when we're gonna get out Momotaro Nendoroids?
That ain't happening. Good Smile Company is not. I guarantee you, Good Smile Company is not on board with this.
Okay, so
quite frankly, they probably would like to forget this entire thing that went on.
So
quite honestly, like looking at old World War II era Disney films where we are being remarkably racist against the Japs and whatnot, the Japs, quote unquote, and whatnot. It's kind of embarrassing.
Oh yeah,
necessary at the time, but it's kind of embarrassing.
It's not comfortable by any stretch of the imagination.
Yeah, exactly. In hindsight, it's like, did we really have to stoop to that level? When the answer, quite frankly, might very well be yes, but in hindsight, it does look bad.
Yeah, but at the same time, they did the same thing. So
yep.
Let's not play favorites here. Okay, so this movie is it's everything you think it is, but now something interesting is going to happen though, because the war is about to end in a big boom. 2 of them actually. Cool. Yes. Nuclear bombs are dropped on Hiroshima and Nagasaki.
Atomic bombs. I'm a stickler for that.
Oh, my bad. Yeah, you're right. Har, my bad.
There is a difference.
There is. My bad. Wah, wah. Yeah. Anyway, they were dropped on there and basically surrendered. The U.S. was an occupying force there for how long were they there? I'm still trying to remember.
Technically, you could say we're still
there. But how long were we there as a truly an occupying force? We were kind of writing their constitution and all that good stuff.
I don't remember offhand. But
yeah, the numbers is escaping me. But the point is our influence was there at this point. And so
I want to say 20 years, 30.
Yeah, we were there for a little while. Both because the whole fucking communist stuff going on in the East Asia and all that. And that was a good base of operations for dealing with that too. Because you're right there. And anyway, not to get too political, but it actually is kind of important in this context.
Yeah.
In any case, though, our arrival signals a couple of things. I mean, they're probably a lot more used to our media now, whether they wanted to be or not. Because I'm sure they're seeing people like GIs and stuff watching stuff from home.
Right.
Or reading things, that sort of stuff. You know what I mean? It's not like they had VCRs, but you know what I mean.
Gotta record that.
Yeah. But they, you would think that maybe some of this kind of rubbed off on Disney. Certainly had to have gotten its way around there by this point.
Oh yeah,
sure. Like there's no way it couldn't have by this time. And the next one on the list is a little further down the line. It's from 1958, which about a little over a decade later, basically. And it's interesting in the sense that this is the first anime film in color.
Yeah.
I think I know which one you're going to talk about.
Yeah, it's no, I'm going to totally fuck up the pronunciation on this. I have a feeling. But is it Hakujiden?
I believe it'd be Hakujiden, but
again, I can't swear on this one. This is one that I'm looking at it and I'm not truly sure where the emphasis is supposed to be. Just being blunt here. Again, this is a movie. It's in color, so that's why it's important. It's the first time you get to see anime not in black and white.
Right.
Oh, Tales of the White Serpent. That was the one.
Yep.
Yes, that's the translation or whatever.
Yeah, just for record, if you say the Japanese name, I think you should say what it translates to.
Oh, okay, my bad.
Yeah, from this point on, that's probably a good call.
Right. Well, I figured since these were so old and some of them aren't even available, really.
When did hold on, I need to look up when did the one the print was it the Puss in Boots. That was later, right?
I think so, but I'm not 100% sure on that.
All right, because that's what became the Toei, the logo for Toei, and I know that because when I was a little kid watching Transformers, and I saw the logo, and I had no fucking idea what it would show up. I had no like, what is that? What is? And then I come, oh, that's the Puss in Boots thing.
But this is significant for us too, because this was the first of 3 anime films to be released here. It was under a different title though. It was Panda and the Magic Serpent, and it premiered in 1961. This is interesting in the sense that, again, you're starting to see it look a little bit more. I mean, it still has a very Disney-esque, element to it, like all stuff did at this point.
Yeah, looking at this picture, like this film poster.
But you can see that Chinese kind of look to it too, because it's kind of folklore from there.
It has an aesthetically like traditional Japanese.
Yes. Although in this case, though, it's about a Chinese folklore. So maybe just saying Asian would be better in this capacity. Yeah. But in any case, has music, and it's also, I think, the first film that Toei Animation made. I could be wrong, but I do believe it's up there. It's one of the earlier ones for sure.
Right.
And we should mention that Toei Animation, everybody remembers the kind of the cat in the hat.
Yep.
Wow. I know this guy, Rentaro, who's an anime director, worked on this, but he was an animator for this.
But we should point out that Toei was actually founded in 1956, 2 years before this came out.
Yeah.
As an animation studio, which means it's 62 years old. Wow.
Yes.
That's crazy. And you see it at the end of stuff, like it shows the cat kind of like do the thing where he like moves his hat and swings it or whatever.
Yep.
If everybody who's seen anything with it knows what the fuck I'm talking about with that.
Yeah.
And this will be important later on. It's a mega corp as far as corporation as far as anime goes. You'll see a lot of important stuff come through its halls, and we'll get to it a little later on. Now there was probably more stuff than this kind of floating around out there, but I think these are the ones that were worth more talking about.
Yeah, they're the big milestones in Japanese
I think
animation.
So. Right, and again, many popular people will kind of walk through their halls, including like Leiji Matsumoto and people like that will have worked with them at some point.
Yeah,
and again, we'll get to that a little later. So, again, anime kind of finding its way around at this point. Still hasn't really become its own thing outside of being in Japanese, and when it still basically is looking more over at us and what we're doing.
It's still looking for its identity.
Yeah, yes. You could easily argue it hasn't found its true identity yet, and it will start to find it in the 60s.
Yeah.
That's when it really starts making its own kind of headway. But as of now, it's still kind of it's not in proof of concept because they've gotten there. Obviously, movies are starting to come out now. And all right, yeah, here's an interesting little bit. Interesting about all this history is that the transition from woodcut animation to cells. Yeah, sure. I could see that being just a general interesting sort of switch or
I mean, going into the technical aspects of all this, I would imagine it'd be fascinating.
Oh yeah, I mean, I'm sure really hardcore animation people have studied this. I mean, if they like it from a worldwide perspective and not just here.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, They've done some movies. They're going to end up doing tons of TV series and other goodies.
Here's one, guys. From 1951. It's a short film that
Okay.
I don't know who did this one. Is it? Oh, all right, but it's Adam and Eve.
Oh, is it just basically a retelling?
Yeah.
Okay, of the biblical story. Okay.
I remember hearing about that one.
Right. Okay. And again, that's very un-Japanese. I mean.
Yeah.
Yeah. The thing is,
isn't it weird though? And this is something I've noticed going through all of this. It's weird how globalized the world was even before like the 60s.
Mm-hmm.
Like in like the earliest of post World War II, it's still remarkably globalized. But even if you look before World War II, there's still a lot of interchange happening between nations.
Well, you got to look at it from the perspective of, at that point, you had pre-World War II, you had League of Nations.
Yep.
And post World War II, you had United Nations, which of course is worthless at this point. But sorry, I had to squeeze in that pot shot. But here's another interesting kind of thing in the chat. It's unfortunate a lot of animations from the 20s are lost. Yeah, I imagine that anything of interest probably was lost. Because again,
in the war itself.
Well, not only that, but natural disasters.
Yep.
And there wasn't really any real true motivation to preserve film at that point.
Yeah, exactly.
It was.
Well, here's a little thing I heard that it's just like a common knowledge. I heard that from what I heard, Japan isn't as good at now that today's it's a little different, but for a long time they weren't as good with the archiving of this stuff
of the materials and all that. Yeah. I could believe that,
which is why even a lot of the like, you know me and like the old the OVAs that I'm into.
Yep.
That stuff was like VHS and Laserdisc only. There's stuff that hasn't even been put on DVD because it's just lost to.
Right. Well,
you know.
Okay. But again,
like,
and to be honest,
owns it.
Japan has a lot more in the. I mean, with exception of some parts in the United States, but as a country, they have a lot more concern about regular occurrences of natural disasters like earthquakes, volcanic eruptions, and tsunamis and things like that. Even just bad monsoon season, you know.
Oh yeah.
Which is something that the average American probably doesn't deal with unless they live like in on a coastal city where they actually have to deal with hurricanes and.
That's what happened last month. There.
Right. And Florence just to date the episode years down the line. Hurricane Florence just fucking nuked, no pun intended, North Carolina. I mean, it's just getting pounded. I mean, have you seen the footage of all the all the cars and shit underwater?
Oh yeah.
The thing is, now imagine that on an island. Okay. And you have to preserve film on that island.
Yeah, exactly.
Or just really nasty earthquakes or volcanic eruptions. And there just wasn't really safeguards for a lot of this at that point. Now, most of the stuff in the 30s and the 40s was unfortunately propagandistic. You know, it makes sense for the time. I mean, okay, they're fighting a bunch of people and this sort of stuff. It makes sense that their media wanted to kind of basically be part of the whole support the war effort, kind of.
Right.
And like you said, to denigrate and demonize all the kind of the enemies, you know. I mean, and again, we're no better. I mean, you know.
Oh yeah, and like you say, it's unfortunately propagandistic, but I can't even look at it as unfortunate
in the sense that it had to be that way in its early infancy.
It's unfortunate in the same way war itself is unfortunate.
Okay, yeah, I'll go with that. But a lot of the early stuff is interesting. Again, as stated here, that it's based on Japanese folklore. And obviously a lot of it is, I mean, like a Tanaki. I mean, like that's not something you're going to see in American animation, really.
Yeah, exactly.
or even like, I mean, it's hard to. I mean, my knowledge of Japanese folklore is better than it used to be. I mean, I know references to like stuff that's based off religion, like Buddhism or Shinto or
Right.
or even Confucius. And plus, you got these stories about mythical beasts and deities and stuff that are just completely unique to Japan.
Yeah.
Not even other Asian countries.
Also, don't forget the first, what was apparently like the first novel written in.
Oh yeah. You mean the Tale of the Genji?
Yeah.
Right. And that, I think that, but that's not really so much important for anime. That's important for literature.
I hear it's like tough to get through though. Like material.
Well, yeah, but so is Moby Dick. You know, like 50 pages of descriptions of fishes and shit. Whatever. That's not a knock on Herman Melville, by the way. He's actually a very good writer. Just one of those writers you have to be ready for.
Yeah.
You know, that's kind of like when you pick up Tolstoy or something like that. You got to know what you're jumping into before, or else you're just probably going to burn out and not finish it. But yeah, the early stuff, of course, has the Japanese folklore angle, and that will continue in anime. But early on, it makes even more sense for it to be there because it's just because Japan was an isolationist nation for a long, long time.
Yeah.
And I think that's another angle we should probably kind of talk about and maybe close out this segment if you don't mind.
Oh yeah, certainly.
Pre-World War II, I mean, again, very isolationist in many ways. So it's interesting that they even bothered to mess with animation because that was one of those techniques that's, you know, not originating from there.
Yeah, and like when I was talking about how it's remarkable how globalized the world was even pre-World War II, it's like that extends to Japan, but at the same time, conversely, it's remarkable how isolationist Japan really was. Like there were isolationist nations,
but not usually at that level.
Nations, but Japan was at an entire other level.
Was sort of a monolith unto itself regarding that.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, what I mean is though, and this is almost assuredly how this actually came about. People that were working in animation at the proof of concept stage, they had to at some point see things like Disney or whatnot and go, see, this is proof it can be done here, and look at it and look at its technique and everything and go, okay, I can do that, or I know how to do that, or I know how to make use of a technique like that long if I have the tools.
Exactly.
And I think that's why it resembles it so much, because it's like outside of the very, very early stuff that we mentioned in the beginning, it really didn't have any identity of its own beyond just being sort of this very crude proof of concept material. And then it starts to resemble Disney, which obviously is clearly people over there that at least work in animation or artistry or any of that kind of stuff happen to say, oh, if you're interested in this stuff, you got to check out this stuff that's coming over from the United States because it's so much more advanced and it's clearly showing the way forward.
Isn't it so crazy how Disney was so prolific even back then that they even penetrated into Japan?
Yeah, I mean, it's I mean, there's a reason like they're like one of the 6 mega corporations that run fucking everything.
That's what I was about to say. It's like, and now people are surprised now that Disney is a mega corporation.
I don't even think mega corporation is fucking the right word. Walmart's a mega corporation.
Well, no, if this was the cyberpunk world, Disney would be one of the mega corporations that manufactures everything.
Fucking yeah, but you know what I'm saying though? It's like, you know, Walmart's a mega corporation. These people own Walmart kind of thing.
Yeah, exactly. Disney's on an entire other
level. Ooh. I mean, like, it starts to get scary when you realize how much stuff they actually have. And they bought Fox.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's now a lot of these mergers and stuff have been happening since I was a kid. In the 80s, there was like 50 or 60 main megacorps, and now it's consolidated into these just 6 fucking giant, massive tendrils,
Yeah, exactly.
into everything.
Get him though.
You just wait. There'll be somebody manufacturing boomers.
I'm telling you, it's going to be the cyberpunk.
Granted, they're going to be sex bots, but
of course.
But which somebody just turned that off. It was good until you started talking about that.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, I hate to tell you, but it ain't going to get any cleaner down the line, because it's the further we go, the worse that'll probably get. We'll try to keep it on to a minimum.
Yeah.
As much as we can, because once we kind of get down, spoiler alert, once we get toward the 80s and further, we actually do have to talk about porn.
Yep.
Just going to lay it right out there. So just so you know, it's going to be mentioned. Key titles and important things are going to be talked about. If you don't like it, well, there's other things to listen to.
There's a lot that I can, because I've seen a lot of.
Right, but I'm not talking about just early stuff either. I'm talking about all the way up to the current time.
Yep.
We'll get to that when we come to it. I think this will be a good place to kind of close out on this part, where we have a third segment. So we'll take another break. This is basically the early eras of anime are your proof of concept, your execution, your propaganda, which again is largely just due to the time.
Yep.
More than anything else. And post-war, you're starting to see it become more of an actual industry, because you have Toei Animation, which I think is your first big mega animation studio that is going to approach it in terms of a business and artistry, beyond just, again, propaganda or proofs of concept.
Yeah. A medium to tell stories.
Right. That's a very good term. It's a medium that we can actually make malleable into actual stories that exist well beyond just promoting political causes or something like that.
And in a way, kind of like be sold elsewhere.
Yeah.
Right. That's where the business angle comes in.
Enemies. Even to our former enemies.
Yeah,
even to the people occupying us.
Which, for those in late 1950s Japan, we have some surprises for you, and you have some for us too. So that's gonna wrap it up for the first edition of a serial. Next week we'll be doing part 2, which will be 60 to 69.
Yes.
We're doing that because we missed last week. So we're going to go ahead and do it next week to kind of catch up. And after that, we might go back to a regular type episode. But as far as things are now, that's kind of going to be the way it's supposed to go. And October might just be a kind of a break from it, and then might come back to it in November. We'll see. But we will be coming back to it after we finish the second installation. We hope you enjoyed it. We're going to be taking a break here pretty soon, and we have some last segment stuff to do with kind of Ani chart, I believe.
Yes, indeed.
And some promotional material. So keep in. I'm losing my voice here.
I got you, K-Gods. Keep it right here on NTR Radio.
Okay.
Let's write the number down. 001.
Let's use working to restore power.
You accidentally hit that, didn't you?
Oh, entirely.
Here's the news. We're on break.
Okay. And
All right.
not that button, but that button. And that button. And scroll down. Any chart up. Sort by title.
Oh, yeah. Hang on a sec. I need to do the same.
Yeah, I forgot I can log in with my Annie list.
Oh, are they basically set up to
They're run
basically
by-
be interlocked there?
They're run by the same people.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay. What do I want to put it on? Sort by popularity?
Sort
by
by title. Yep.
title, yeah. For fall season, right?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Sounds like it'll be pretty good there. That's what we got here. Hopefully I capped that off decently enough.
You did good.
I was starting to get kind of a,
Yeah.
where you get like a stuck in your throat, right?
Yeah.
I
was actually eating popcorn earlier today, so I'm lucky I don't have any fucking kernel shells out here adhered to the back of my tongue.
The 60s episode should actually still be kind of like this one in the sense that there's less material. There's more than that, but
yeah.
Again, you're starting to actually see it become kind of a big production thing now at that point. But we'll come to that when we get to it again. Plus, we'll be able to talk a lot about some of the 60s stuff that was going on outside of it.
Yes.
Which will be lots of bad jokes about ensuing geopolitical maneuvering in terms of communism and all that.
We now return to the communists.
Yeah, it'd just be like some... Yeah, just like it's a fucking sitcom, man. Some jingly kind of 50s music playing in the background. You just see freaking like Tsar Bomba tests. Okay, so we're just gonna quickly go through this. Oh, we gotta promote this stuff. Do you want to do that first, or you want to do that at the very end?
So what? That's all like the t-shirts and whatnot?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll do that at the end like I usually do.
Okay.
I actually have a question about that, but I'll save it for after the show because
that's a good that's a good idea here.
Because I got a good idea for another thing we could sell.
That's there.
That's fine.
And that's the one I need to get in here.
Actually, two things.
Okay, well, we'll worry about that when we get to it.
Got that. Plop that. Okay. Get the soundboard back up. All right, let's do this.
Okay.
Everyone got any chart up?
Yep. Sorted by title. Let's roll.
Outstanding.
Make sure to tell everybody else that too if they were following along.
In 3, 2, 1. Welcome back to NTR Radio. Coming into the third segment, we got the Annie chart for fall 2018. So what you're going to do is head over to anniechart.net. Make sure you're on the fall 2018 chart. And you're going to go up to the sort, click that, and make sure it's sorted by title.
That way you can follow along at home. Just like a bingo game.
Yeah. So, first up, Akane Sasu Shoujo.
By Dandelion Animation Studio. This looks like it's from a video game.
Let's see. Sci-fi anime.
Mm-hmm.
Which, by the way, I heard that the Island anime like pretty much shit the bed.
I've been hearing not very good things about the Island anime, but I have heard that it's gotten a lot of people to play the game, which apparently is very good.
Yeah, that's.
So, anybody have any interest with this, or can we just move on.
Yes.
Yeah, if someone tells me this anime is the shit, I'll probably give it a try. But I'm
That one
looking at
girl looks-
the
Nothing about it is hopping out about it at all.
yeah, I'm
No,
looking
From
at
the
preview
description,
video.
any of that.
I'm looking at the preview video right now, and it's not really doing much of anything for me.
I'd do that, but I know the sound would just start blaring if I did.
But you know what is? You know what I am excited for? Anima Yell.
By Studio Dogokobo.
This is Dogo Kobo, and this is comedy sports. And for once, it's actually a manga as the source.
Something I've been waiting for years.
So basically, yeah, high school students. Looks like cheerleader squads.
Moe and cheerleading is something I've been waiting for a very long time.
Still waiting on my Moe golf anime.
Hey, the Japanese like their golf, so don't be surprised if it actually occurs at some
Listen,
point.
all they need is a character named Taiga Woods.
Oh, come on. Okay. This looks like it might be fun if I don't find anything else that I'm gonna be really pumped about, I guess. It certainly looks fun enough in the sense that it's. I mean, I can tell what kind of show it is just from looking at the image.
Oh yeah.
There you have it. Next we have Bakumatsu from Studio Dean. Obviously, this is a video game source. And again, it looks not particularly like something I would watch.
Nah.
I'm trying to
If
see.
anything, it looks like a Fujoshi social currency anime.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah, it does.
And to kind of call things back, next up we have Bakutsuri Bar Hunter, which is by Toei Animation, which we just mentioned. Yes, we just talking about them. This is also another video game. I mean, clearly it looks like that's like based on a card game type thing? Or?
It looks like a welfare Yu-Gi-Oh anime.
Yeah, it does. It really does.
That's really what Toei does anymore. Is like the really
yeah. Unfortunately, that is unfortunately sort of kind of what they do these days.
The most hyper marketable thing aimed at kids that's tied to numerous franchise.
Yep.
Yeah, okay. So doubt anybody will be interested in this. I mean, I'm not even a fan of card game based things anyway.
I actually recently went through and put all my Yu-Gi-Oh cards in sleeves, just cause.
Okay, you
still have my old deck that I used to run with back when I used to go hard in Yu-Gi-Oh.
You want to try this next one?
Dad, this one I'm actually gonna see.
Okay, let's see.
This one.
Beelzebub Jo no Okinimetsu Mama
by Leiden Films.
Yeah, I saw the previous. It looks really cute.
It's based off a manga. It's apparently comedy and fantasy. The fantasy part of it is very obvious.
Yeah.
Okay. It looks like it could be fun. It's just got a weird name.
English title As Miss Beelzebub Likes.
Yeah.
Yeah, it has a sort of a Magi Brilliant Park, Maid Dragonish.
Yeah, I was thinking something along those lines. And the next one, this is an easy one. Conception, all caps. By
Gonzo.
By Studio Gonzo. And this comes from a video game. And the little description here is kind of interesting. High school student finds out the day of his graduation ceremony that his cousin and childhood friend is pregnant.
Hey.
The doujinshi here is already writing itself. So
the characters look really cute.
Yeah,
so
they
I might
do.
check it out just on that metric.
They do. And again, holy shit, Gonzo. Where have you
Gonzo still got it, baby.
Yeah,
don't keep on Gonzo.
Right, and again, the next one looks also very much like Fujoshi Bait.
Oh yeah.
Let's see if I can get this without giving myself the drop in. Dakaratai Otoko Wanini, or that might be each. I don't know. Odosarate imasu.
by Cloverworks. This one's based off of a manga.
By the way, the main girl for Conception looks a lot like the girl in
Oh, that's why it's called Conception. Okay.
Yeah.
Because she's pregnant. All right.
Yeah.
It took me a while. I'm sorry.
It's not like it's supposed to be a play on Inception or anything. Like she's pregnant inside her pregnancy. No.
Anubis, doesn't she look like Sane from what's that thing that you like? The boring heroine.
Oh, which one? The girl with the brown hair?
Yeah.
Kind of. The girl from Saikano looks more plain.
Okay, so I doubt anybody's watching this one, even though it does have the amusing comment that has reigned as the idol industry's most huggable.
Listen,
yeah.
You need to. If I was in the idol industry, I would strive for most huggable.
Oh yeah. But okay. Anyhow, next one, Double Decker, Doug and Kirill.
Doug Walker.
I was thinking Doug, like
Doug
the TV show.
And this is an original by Sunrise of all people. Yeah, it doesn't look like a Sunrise one from the preview pic. Not really.
It doesn't. Looks more like something Studio Bones might put out.
I was just thinking that, like some sort of like kind of low key Studio Bones material. It talks about some kind of lethal drug named Anthem, special crime investigation that's called 7-0.
It certainly looks action-packed, but...
It even sounds like something Bones would probably do.
Yeah, exactly.
The next one, I should just point out, is the last season, Fairy Tale.
Hey.
And A1 Pictures is doing this one.
I've not seen a single second of Fairy Tale in my life.
I don't think I've had. If I have, it was that short time I had the Funimation channel.
Last
year I had that.
I'll say this, as far as like long running titles of that caliber go, I like it more than others. I just enjoy it. I don't know. Maybe I'm the weird one here. Anyhow, I would watch it, but I'm nowhere near informed enough to actually just drop in at the end of the fucking show.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh boy, here's another fun one.
Gaikotsu Shoteni no Honda-san.
From DLE. It's based off a manga and it's comedy. I could have told you that just from the picture.
Yeah.
It borders, you gotta love the description. It borders on a skeleton named Honda. Yeah. Who works in a bookstore. Hilarity ensues daily in his work at the shop's manga counter.
This
Okay.
looks
I don't think I've watched it.
Animation. It just looks like it's sold for like the Halloween.
And then you have Gakuen Basara by Brains Base.
I've heard of them.
It's based from manga. I like the girl in the picture. You know which one.
Yeah, I see.
She looks particularly fun. The synopsis doesn't particularly make it sound like it'd be all that interesting, unfortunately. At least not to me. I do, however,
nothing I'm gonna check out.
The next one though is captures my interest.
I am pumped for this next one.
Oh, really?
This one is Goblin Slayer.
Goblin Slayer. And if it's gonna be anything like the light novel, it's gonna be absolutely excellent.
It's by White Fox, which might explain why I was getting a Kame ga Kill vibes, even though that's not really probably the idea. But
I mean, if it's anything like a Kame ga Kill, then it'll be on point.
Okay, so that wouldn't be a stretch.
A Kame ga Kill is kind of like fantasy world, but there's a lot of dark elements in it, and it really doesn't pull any punches, and that's exactly what Goblin Slayer is. Okay.
Plus it looks like it would filter into like love of RPGs.
Yeah.
So yeah,
really
that's
good.
definitely on board. That's definitely on deck for me to check out. I like White Fox in general too, so that helps.
Don't you use so?
Yep.
Okay, now
Oddly enough, they didn't do the latest like OVA that came out. In other words, it was a studio switch.
Right.
Because they just announced that they're going to do another OVA thing.
Mhm.
And they, another, that's probably, studios. That's probably why it took so long for more.
Now we got
Okay.
We got a couple.
Yeah.
We got a couple. We got a couple
sequels coming in.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to say.
Stuff I've never seen.
The original
Yeah,
of to begin with. We got Golden Kamui, I guess maybe.
Yeah.
Kamui 2 by Geno Studio. Action adventure. That's all it says. It's based on a manga. Same thing with this other one. Gorazeni 2 by Studio Dean. It's just looks like a sports baseball thing. Again, there's not really much to go on. They're just that's all it tells us about these.
And
the next one's also a sequel.
Yes, it's
Gakuten Saiban.
Yeah,
Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney.
Yeah, Cloverworks, and again, not much more in the information. So if you like these already, there's more of them. I don't have any information to actually comment on them.
Oh boy, JC Staff.
Yes, now we have Hangyaku Sei Million Arthur by JC Staff. This is a video game. It's based off a Square Enix game, apparently.
A lot of video game adapted.
Yeah, this season. Yeah, I've noticed that.
Holy shit.
A lot more than I was expecting. Again, not a lot of info. So you got to kind of, unless you played the game, I guess.
Yeah, that's what I'm guessing. Like people are expecting people to have played the game
to know what they're. Yeah, and here we have Hinomaru Zumo by another Gonzo again. Taking a manga source, it looks like. Looking at this one, I want to. This looks familiar somehow to something else, and I can't wrap my head around what it is. It looks to be like some sort of sumo club type stuff.
Yeah,
which does not appeal at all to me. But
I'm all set.
Moe sumo anime.
Doesn't look very moe either.
Oh.
But anyway, and then we have what do we got here? Anubis.
Hora mimi ga mieteru yo. Hey, your cat ears are showing is the English title.
Yes, this is comedy slice of life again. That totally obvious there. Manga origin. It's like. Yeah, that's literally everything you need to know. I mean, it even says in the thing, the cute story of the daily life between a guy and his cat boy roommate.
You know what? That's one I might check out if I hear good things.
Yeah, I might check this one out.
It's kind of cute.
Okay. Next up, we got Huli Zisheng, which is obviously Chinese.
Yep.
Probably one.
Kumite Company. This is a manga origin, it looks like, and it's another high school story, and obviously doesn't necessarily say it's one of those, but I wouldn't be surprised if it's a co-pro of some kind. I have no information about this other than has a lot of Chinese references.
Looks like it's an idol anime.
Yeah, it does, which is kind of strange with the actual look of the pics in here.
Yeah.
The other one, and here's another video game adaptation. This is Inazuma 11, Orion no Kokuin.
More Inazuma 11. How long has that series been running for?
That's a good question. And again, not familiar with the games or anything. So unless you guys have more to say about it.
No.
Ingress from Craftar. This looks more like a Bones anime right here.
Yeah.
It really does. It's based off a video game. Again, a lot of those this season. Yeah, even the description makes it sound like a Bones anime. It's got two guys with guns on the cover and some mystical-looking girl in the background. Stuff about...
You say Bones. That looks more like a madhouse.
Not
No, I
Madhouse.
don't agree with that.
Especially looking at this preview video, definitely not Madhouse, because what I'm seeing is it basically completely 3D CG.
Oh yeah. Oh,
And I
yeah.
mean, it's done better than a lot of other things, but it still looks weird and janky.
Okay, here's one that looks like it might be interesting. Irozuku Sakai no Ashita Kara. PA Works. This is an original. And not it says basically what kind is this? Drama and romance. See, that's kind of what I figured just from the picture.
Yeah, if PA works.
Yeah, and this is basically this is an interesting thing though. 17-year-old Hitami lost her sense of color at a young age and grew up lacking emotion. Blah blah blah, spends time with the grandma, sends her to the past, to the current year. That's interesting. But okay, I could see that being at least kind of interesting. And to be honest, thematically, that almost seems like something Key would do. Almost.
And next we got more JoJo.
More JoJo. So
JoJo.
If you're a fan of JoJo, you'll be
Morbid.
happier than a pig in shit. David production manga. You know what JoJo is. If you're come on, it's not. It's like Gintama. You know. Karakuri Circus, Studio Volan. This is based off of manga. I can't really get a fix on this. It says adventure and mystery, but nothing is about the picture is.
That thing in the background looks like one of the pathogens from cells.
Cells.org.
Yeah.
You know what it almost looks like to me? It almost looks like something from Death Note. Like some sort of death god or something.
I'm looking at the preview video and it's reminding me more of Kaiji, but that might just be the visual style and the character designs.
Okay. Again, I really can't look at the videos right now, so I have to trust you on that one. And here's one from Kazaga Tsuyoku Fuiteru. This is Production IG. It's a sports anime, and it's just called. And the source is Other. So somebody came up with it while they were taking a dump. No, I'm kidding. I have no idea.
Came up with the premise on toilet paper. It's like, here's my proposal.
Seems to be about relay races and things like that. Yeah, it's Production IG, so it's going to look good, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Most sports anime aren't very appealing to me unless they're a sport I actually like.
Yeah,
I'm sorry, but
anime, and even if I get into a sports anime, chances are it has to be a moe sports anime.
Exactly.
And then we have, let's see here, Ken and Ken, Aoki Kaya. Can you not interrupt? Ken and Ken, Aoki Kayayaki, Studio Dean. Doesn't have a origin, just as other adaptation of a Yuan sword role-playing game franchise. There's nothing really to go on with this. There's no picture. It's just like some, writing. Yeah.
Way to not sell your show.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, then and then we got what's Kira Kira Happy, Irake Kokotama. Yeah. This is the most cutesy looking crap I've ever seen.
This looks like if you made Hamtaro even cuter.
Yeah, because their eyes almost look like they've got giant teardrops in them. And, it's like there's a. I don't know if you guys are aware of this, but in the game Mother 2, also known as Earthbound, there's a place called Happy Village where everything is painted blue. And everybody in there looks like Klansmen in blue. And that's almost what this reminds me of in terms of the freaky factor a little bit, because of the way their eyes are just bulging out and they're really blue. Yeah, that's the vibe I'm getting, Hamtaro. That's the immediate.
and they got poofy-looking underwear or diapers or something.
Yeah, so furries or something will probably like it. Anyway, what else we got here? Kishiku Gakko no Juliet?
Yep.
Leading Films. This is a manga based.
Boarding School Juliet is the English title.
Yeah, I knew it was something school in Juliet. Okay. Not a lot to go here, but I could see it being fun. It says it's comedy, so I could see it being reasonably fun.
Character designs are cute.
Yeah, not terribly original, but okay. And the one on the left clearly is like a REM wannabe or something. You know, I mean, okay. I didn't even have to look. I could tell this one was a video game.
Oh yeah,
Merc Storia from Encourage Films, and I'm not reading all that shit. It just totally looks like one.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Definitely.
Almost looks like an MMORPG.
it looks more like to me like a traditional RPG.
You think so?
Yeah.
Okay, I guess. Again, doesn't particularly look interesting to me. I don't know about you guys.
Okay. So the
Not
next
particularly.
Origasuki Nano wa Imoto Dakedo Imoto Janai.
I'm
Fine.
glad you pronounced that and not me.
Yeah.
That pisses me off.
Yeah. And this one's by Naz.
Light novel anime.
Yep. And the awkward sibling romantic comedy. There had to be one. So what else we got
I'm gonna
here?
find what this translates.
How
as.
long have we been in the paradigm of little sister anime?
Yeah, there's a lot more of them than you. They're still going on.
Oh, okay. This is what it translates as. The one I love is my little sister, but she's not a little sister.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's what I said in Moto.
We're getting too wild with these light novel titles. All right, I could handle Reborn as a Vending Machine. Now I wander the dungeon, and I've been killing slimes for 300 years, and I maxed out my level. I can handle that. But the one I love is my little sister, but she's not really my little sister. Okay, I think that might be a bridge too far.
And next up we have Radiant by Lurcha.
Nice short title. I like
Yeah.
it already.
Other doesn't have a source really. Doesn't look like. I can't. The main character looks like your typical shonen sort of lead character. If you're a fan of like the big three or something like that. I can't really make much out of it though. Although
it looks like a regular ass shonen anime.
Yeah, it is. I mean, that's what I'm getting. It says action and fantasy. That's really all I can say about it. Now, this next one I kind of find interesting.
Yes, this is one I'm excited for.
Release the Spice, and Spice is spelled with a Y.
Yeah.
Le Deuce or Le Duce. First off, I want to say that the character in the front is absolutely adorable.
Yep.
Yes, it's the same character designer. It's Namori. It's the one that does Yuri.
Oh,
and the description is, it says it's God darn it. It says what do we got here? It says that it's high school girl named Momo, blah blah blah, is an agent who works for the private intelligence agency. Kind of like that, protects the city people under the tutelage of I almost said senior or like as in Spanish word. Yuki and other friends, they keep peace in the city. Okay, it looks like it could have potential.
Well, I'm seeing a girl in this preview video with a 50 caliber sniper rifle, so I'm watching this anime.
So I'm on board.
Yeah, okay. Basically, ninja girls.
This next one is, I'm not even trying to read this one. Someone else do it.
Rewrite D Coco Koe no de Raida.
Okay, let's try that again. Rewrited Coco Koe no Derida.
This is by a group called Geek Toys. It's original action drama sci-fi, and again, this reeks a little of Bones.
Anime.
What?
This is Geek Toys' first anime.
Okay.
It's
And
the debut of Studio Geek Toys.
Yep. Okay. I don't know if this is up your alley or not.
It certainly looks like a Bones anime, which means it's probably not going to be up my alley.
That's the first thing that came to mind too. Okay, here's an interesting one. Seishun Beta. Seishun Buta Yaru wa Bunny Girl Senpai no Yumi wo Minai by Cloverworks. This is comedy. It's a light novel, of course it is. Fucking long ass title.
I already like it because of the bunny girl.
And plus, it has the thing. There's a rumor about a mysterious phenomenon called puberty syndrome.
Like
That's great.
Yeah, 8th grader syndrome, now puberty syndrome.
Yeah, hiatus from blah blah blah. Bunny girls, so that gives it more street cred than I normally would give this type of show. So, we'll see. Okay, the next one's just a no-brainer. Senran Kagura Season 2. What more do you need to know?
Yeah, exactly.
Lesbian booby ninjas, bring them on. Guaranteed I'm watching that one. Okay. That's by T&K.
Different studio than the original.
Yes, it is. And of course, those come from video games. Next one is Sorato Umi no Ida. Yeah. By TMS Entertainment. This is also another video game. Adventure sci-fi. And there is so many fucking video game adaptations this season.
Looking at the preview video for this one, it looks interesting. They got space stations.
Female space fishermen.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Never thought I'd hear that combination of words.
Okay. I'm gonna let you take the plunge on that one. If you like it, I might follow.
I might be down on this because this looks pretty interesting.
Okay, now we got Soaten no Ken Regenesis 2 that's by Polygon Pictures.
I watched an episode of that and
I've heard it's terrible.
Yeah.
It's manga, of course, and it's action, but I've heard this is actually very bad, even from fans of that franchise.
Woo!
Please stop that.
Yeah, no, this actually looks pretty bad.
Okay, now this is gonna be fun. SSSS.Gridman.
Yes.
By Studio Trigger. And it's action and mecha. It's an original creation, and quite frankly, for some reason, that picture makes me want to see it. I don't know why. That background mech makes me want to check it out. I don't know why.
Yes, so Gridman is the show that I told you I saw a couple years ago that was adapted into the U.S. as Superhuman Samurai.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not actually a mech per se. It's like it is, but it isn't. It's basically like Ultraman.
Okay, it still looks decent, and I like Trigger, so I might give it a shot. Again, I might have one of my friends do the guinea pig thing for it on me, though.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to hear that this one's the shit before giving it a try.
Same,
because I've been like, and maybe it's just me, but I've been really halfway on most of Trigger's output.
Okay, that's fair. Next up, we have Sword Art Online, the new one, Alicization. What the fuck? It's almost like they're trying to say Alice is Alice.
I feel like that might be Alicization.
What the fuck?
Alice is.
Yeah. Okay.
Exactly.
A1 Pictures.
Yeah.
Obviously, light novel. It's the 3rd season. I'm not a fan of this franchise. I don't hate it though.
More
whole year, by the way.
Oh yeah. It's gonna be 50-something episodes, isn't it?
Yes.
Oh wow. Yeah. Okay.
More stuff for any YouTubers to hate on.
Yeah. Okay. And what do we got next here? We got
a year for content.
Okay, here's a great title. Tensei Shitara Slime Data Ken.
Oh, that time I got reincarnated as a slime is the English title.
By 8-bit.
So this is another light novel I've seen in the bookstore. It's another crazy isekai. Where is the drop-in? It's another crazy isekai light novel where a guy gets reincarnated as something weird in the isekai world. And this time he is a slime.
Okay. It says lonely 37-year-old Satoru Mikame is stuck in a dead-end job, and it's about to get a lot more dead. Sorry. I don't know. That doesn't seem like my kind of thing, but whatever.
I might check this out because I am way into the fantasy world isekai, but one thing is quirked slightly genre. So I'm liking the vending machine isekai thing. I'm liking the immortal witch kills slimes for 300 years in max outer level thing. And I haven't picked up this light novel yet, but it seems like an interesting premise. And I'm beginning to I'm becoming a big fan of this paradigm of light novels where it's the isekai world, and it like they take the same thing that Konosuba and all these other fantasy world light novels do and just change one thing and make it really weird and then roll with that, and it makes the whole thing so much better. I think there's a lot of potential in this genre.
Let's try to go because we still got quite a bit left.
Thunderbolt Fantasy 2, sequel of Thunderbolt Fantasy, which I didn't watch.
Original. This looks like it will be CG.
No, it's puppets.
Puppets.
Oh,
Puppet
fuck.
show.
Is it? Okay.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. Moving along. Sorry.
Tara Majisu no Index 3. Certain
JC
Magical Index
Staff?
3 by JC Staff.
Light novel, obviously third season. You know if you like this show or not.
I still need to finish the first.
Gifting pens.
Okay, now we have
You hate on
Tokyo.
it, VZ. Good.
What? Excuse me?
No,
I'm saying-
I'm saying.
And I'm saying you hate on it, VZ, but it's pretty good so far.
Oh, I don't hate. Just saying. Well, it's just that aspect because it's
Okay, come on. Let's go.
yeah,
Tokyo Ghoul Re 2 is the second core of Tokyo Ghoul Re. I
Studio
didn't watch.
Pierrot. Manga. And of course, this is a lot of things: action, horror, not sci-fi, mystery, psychological, blah blah blah.
Next one I'm gonna look at.
Tonari-san no Kyuketsuki-san.
From,
Tonari no Kyuketsuki-san.
from Studio Gokumi. Manga, and it came from a manga. It's comedy and slice of life.
English title is Ms. Vampire Who Lives in My Neighborhood.
Yes.
Due to a strange incident, Akari is rescued by a vampire girl named Sophie Twilight. Gotta love that name. And Akari becomes interested in her. Yeah, interested in her. I like the designs, especially that one in the back with the bow.
Yeah.
Anyway, okay, this should be interesting. Surune Kazemai Kooko. Oh God, it's a fucking word. Kyodobu by Kiwani. This is other, and this just says, Minato played Japanese archery in middle school, but after a certain incident, this is sports, ran, this is going to be archery.
Yeah, it's favorite archery instead of swimming.
Yeah. I like archery, but probably not enough to watch that. But it is Kiwani, so.
Okay, show besides the top one, the other show of the season.
How did I know this?
Yeah, let's go.
Uchi no Mega Uze Suguru, or I think that's
by Doga Kobo, or Doga Kobo rather. My tongue got twisted.
Our maid is unusual. I think that's what it translates as.
This is a manga based off a manga, and for the people at home, this must be read. This manga centers on Misha, a little girl who lost her mother at an early age and now lives with her father. Her father employs a maid named Tsubame, who was a former self-defense force official and is also a lolicon.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's just point out the very obvious thing here. VZ's a big Doga Kobo fan.
Yes.
Okay.
Favorite studios in in the past like 5-6 years. They've just been hitting out.
They're really good.
Lots of stuff's been really good. Yeah.
This is Ulysses, Jun the Arc to Renkin no Kishi. Is that supposed to be Axis? Because I've never seen this studio.
I think so. Axis.
Yeah, doesn't have a source. And again, this is definitely
apparently they're good at what they do.
Yeah, and this is basically just looking at this screams Fate Stay Night. I mean, really. 15th century France during 100 Years' War, blah, blah, blah. Even look at the designs and characters, just kind of gives that a little bit of a vibe. So that might be interesting, especially if you're a fan of that.
Yeah.
This next one looks like it might be interesting. Yagate Kimi ni Naru by Troika? Troisier? I have no fucking
like Troika.
This is based on a manga. This description is interesting. It's drama, romance, slice of life. Yu has always loved shoujo manga and awaits the day she gets a love confession that sends her heart aflutter with bubbles and blushes. And yet when a junior high classmate confesses his feelings to her, she feels nothing. Disappointed. I can quit moving around. Disappointed and confused. Okay. Hang on. Somebody else has to pick up because it's starting to fuck up on my end.
Disappointed and confused, Yu enters high school still unsure how to respond. That's when Yu sees the beautiful student council president Nanami turn down a suitor with such maturity that she's inspired to ask her for help. When the next person confesses to Yu is Nanami herself, has her shoujo romance finally begun?
Dun, dun, dun. That looks like it might be fun.
English title is Bloom Into You.
Oh, yeah, I'm watching that. that looks like Yuri bait that I so want to watch. Okay, the next one, we don't have much of a thing to go on. It's just called Zombieland Saga.
Yep.
Supernatural.
Zombieland Saga, and it's by Studio Mappa, which means I'm probably not going to enjoy it because I don't think I've ever
liked anything from that studio.
The only thing that I've liked from Studio Mappa, it's Kids on the Slope.
Okay, and that's Supernatural, as if that title didn't tell you that.
Yeah.
Okay, there's some leftovers. Do we want to go through these or
no?
Let's skip past
because
those.
We're not watching any of this stuff.
No, although I will say Holiday Love has a very depressing description.
And as far as shorts, there's 2 that I'm going to check out.
Well, go ahead, because I don't think I'm going to be doing any shorts.
Me neither.
Himote House by...
Bouncy. You gotta love that. A studio called Bouncy.
Studio Bouncy.
It's like why didn't a porn company get on that?
It's gonna be a 5-minute episode thing. Comedy anime centers on 5 girls and 1 cat, all living as housemates in Nakano, Tokyo. The 3 Himote sisters, whose family manages the Himote house. Classmates and the cat Inishi. The girls live in their daily lives trying to figure out ways to be popular, and they and the cat all possess a mysterious secret power.
What, to make otaku horny?
And the other thing is,
unsurprisingly, Idolmaster, right?
Yeah, the only thing is it's side M, so I don't know if I'll stick with it.
Right.
But and there's a Gonzo short too. Gonzo's pretty active this season. That's surprising, isn't it? Okay, now movies. Let's take a look at these. These are worth actually looking at, probably. One of them has to be said, whether you like it or not. There is a Dragon Ball movie. It's Dragon Ball Super. Broly. It's Toei, speaking of them. It's the 20th film in the Dragon Ball series. I actually, if I see this at the theater, I will go see it. I think it'll be fun. I actually did like Dragon Ball Super. I don't think it's the greatest thing ever, but I actually did enjoy it. And then you have a new Precure movie, also Toei Animation. See, we told you.
Full circle.
Prolific.
And it will feature 55 Precures.
Jesus Christ.
Son of a... bitch. It's like I can't even keep track of all of them anymore. Like,
is this like when they did the thing with the Sentai and they had like all the Sentai teams in one movie?
Yes. Pretty much.
Okay. I don't know about anybody else, but I know the Guaranteed Watch.
I know the Guaranteed Watch.
Yes, you do. Kido Senshi Gundam NT.
Oh,
Mobile Suit Gundam Narrative.
By Sunrise.
Yes.
Like basically it's a movie that takes place after Unicorn.
Yep.
It looks fucking awesome.
It looks really good. It's got a lot of good mobile suits in it.
I can't wait to see the Phoenix.
Yeah.
Armor but my one problem is armor the damn upper arms and thighs. You know, like
not necessary.
Well,
coming from the career mechanical designer, not necessary.
But I don't know why it's open like that.
Well, you do know a lot of these machines. Hang on. You know that a lot of these machines in this specific show were prototypes, right?
Yes, of course.
Okay. Like some of them were prototypes from the ones that actually ended up being in Unicorn. Anyway, anybody else want anything they want to talk about? I mean, there's a Nanoha movie.
Another in the Monogatari thing.
Yep.
Zokuo War Emo. No wait,
Zokowari Monogatari.
Yeah.
Which is Shaft, and does that not look like such a fucking Shaft image?
Yeah.
Yes.
Like it even has the head tilt a little bit.
I never seen that girl before. The one on the left.
That's not really the point.
I really need to catch up on everything Monogatari. At this point, I should basically just start over from.
You know, I've had to do that on numerous things before, just because I got so out of touch with it, I wasn't able to jump back in without screwing it around. Now, is that it, or we want to move on to the end here?
Let's see. There's going to be a Sobe Asabase OVA, which I'm glad because that it's one of those packing with the manga.
Okay.
Let me see what else.
All right. We got
nothing really.
There's more ReZero. Speaking of which, by White Fox. White Fox does have a look to their stuff, if you've noticed that.
Yeah, they do.
Like that's why Goblin Slayers or Slayer has a passing resemblance to Akame ga Kill, because they both did that.
Another Saint Seiya thing. I need to see. I've seen bits of it, but I feel like it's one of the things I should have gotten.
Did they kind of like re-kick started or something? Because that's one of those things where they had seemingly been gone for a long time.
A couple years ago, they didn't like reset it, but they like continued it.
Okay, that's kind of what I meant. I didn't necessarily mean it had to be a reboot. One thing I got to point out here that I am amused with is that on the Onen Satsuriku no Tenshi by JC Staff, the main girl looks like she's the Hamburglar in that outfit almost, because of that fucking stripe,
horizontal lines.
Yeah, it's like. And that's exclusively streamed on Amazon Prime, dude.
Hey.
Ow.
What is it? I guess that's it. Yeah.
Let me take a look. See here. Yeah, nothing else looks particularly jumping out. Although, so basically with this season, couple things that of note is that lots of video game adaptations.
Yep.
You're seeing some what appears to really be a lot of co-pro with Chinese people.
Yeah.
Because I'm starting to see more of those.
Which is
so everybody, before we wrap it up, everyone say what you're going to be watching. You want to go first, VZ?
Yes.
Okay, go ahead.
As far as the definites go, Anima Yell, the Beelzebub one, let's see. What was one? The Seren Kagura. Released the Spice, SSS Gridman, and the one Miss Vampire Comes to Town, and the Maid. Lolicon made.
Okay, with me, now I'm just going with TV for right now. For me, I'm going for Goblin Slayer because that looks like it'd be up my alley.
Yeah, boy.
The new Senran Kagura because I am a fan. I'm going to probably try Release the Spice or let someone else do it first and say whether I should or not. I'm kind of interested in Gridman. I like Trigger, so.
And from what I heard, you don't have to see the original show to see. It's a totally new thing.
That's good.
Yeah, that is very good. And the other one I might watch is Yagate Kimi ni Naru because who doesn't like unashamed lesbo stuff?
Hey.
Okay, now how about you?
As for what I'm checking out,
TV.
Goblin Slayer is a definite.
Okay.
The
So we got that in Goblin.
Bunny Girl anime is 100%. I will probably check out Release the Spice. I'll probably check out That Time I Got Reincarnated as a Slime. And I'm definitely checking out this Maid anime.
Okay. So I mean, at the end of the day, 5 shows is a pretty good run.
5 shows is a good season.
It is to me. Because that's more than I usually watch.
Seriously.
Okay, now as for the shorts, VZ already said he's watching what ones he's watching, which is Idolmaster and Himote House. Me, not any of those. But now movies.
I might check out this Shudengo Capsule Hotel de Joshi ni Binet. Yeah, Shugen.
The one with the long name.
The one with the longest name in this list. Because it just purely looks like it might be interesting in a perverted kind of way.
Yeah, very good. Now for films, this is easy for me. DB Super Broly, Mobile Suit Gundam narrative, of course. And maybe down the line, when I've actually caught up and can figure out what the fuck's going on, Zuko Owari Monogatari.
I'm definitely checking out Gundam Narrative. Zuko Owari Monogatari is definitely going to be checked out by me at some point in the far future.
Yeah, that's what I was getting at. And as for the OVAs, not really much tickling my fancy on those.
Nah, nothing.
Just a sub.
Okay, so that's kind of how we're looking at it. You can debate with that all you want, but now it's time for us to say goodnight. But before we do, we have some other things to finish off real quick.
Yes, indeed.
We have promos.
We do. Let me get the Word document out so I don't forget anything. Yeah, Microsoft Word.
Hell yeah.
So as all of you know, the website is ntrradio.net. The website is where you can find the links to the IRC chat to participate in the show live, as well as the link to our episode archive. We also have t-shirts you can get at I think I have this redirect set up to where you can go to ntrradio.net/shirt, and that'll bring you to the page where you can actually buy the shirt. So I'm going to test that out right now.
Page not found.
Page not found. So I'll set up that redirect. Otherwise, you can go get yourself to yashike.moe/store. And from there, you can find yourself the NTR Radio shirts, which come in a variety of colors: black, less black, and not black, which is purple.
Show your inner Prince fandom.
Yeah. As well as the hoodie, which I'm probably going to get one of relatively soon because it's very, very quickly becoming not summer.
I was thinking the same thing. Quick thing here. I'd like to kind of small interjection here. It's kind of important. If you want, You could get us on iTunes and drop us a comment or a review.
Yes, indeed.
We enjoy hearing back from you. You can get at us on Twitter, of course, but also in the comment section of these videos that are streaming on YouTube.
Yep.
I mean, we'll see them eventually. I mean, we may or may not respond because we got stuff to do, but we'll see it most likely. So there you go.
So in addition to that, speaking of selling things, VZ has a book. It's called The Big Book of Idols. It's an Idolmaster fan book. You can find it at thebigbookofIdols.com. So I'll run a website called Iyashike. We talk about a lot otaku lifestyle topics and convention culture. You can find it at iyashike.moe. There's a store I mentioned earlier where you can get the Iyashike shirts, which is otaku, written in hiragana and katakana. Speaking of selling things, I sell anime figures through my store, shinikiba.moe, where you can get all your half-naked anime girl figures. The Geeky Panda is a good friend of mine. As I mentioned, he and I were at Retro World Expo. You can find his stuff at thegeekypanda.net. Does a lot of YouTube videos. Does a lot of Twitch streams. He and I collaborate a lot. As K-Guys mentioned, hit us up on iTunes. Hit us up on Twitter as well, at TUnubis, at VZMK2, at Immortal_K-Gods, at NTR Radio. The email address to get involved with the show is ntrradio@gmail.com. I'm Tommy Borster Nubis.
I'm K-Gods.
And I'm VZ Mark II.
Okay. And even though the history of anime is posh, even though I can't even finish that. I fucked that up.
This is NTR Radio. Good night.
Good night.